consistently been able to go live. Okay, Crouton Ramon cannot go live, no matter what I do. But hello, Crime Stoppers. The 100th Monkey is back, and what are we doing today for Saturday Schule? Is the Omnis. The Omnis. Let's see here. Every act. Okay, so the other ones, the Nihils and the Nemos, were that I found where no one can, right? Or and nihils are nothing, or no one, nothing. Okay, omnis are all or every. Okay, so it's the opposite. And we're what? We're on 209, page 209 of a 359 page book. I've read a few. I think I read 20 pages, not quite last time. And now I'm going to read another, I don't know, not 20 pages, but a few pages. Like I said, we'll keep these shorter instead of 3 hours. Although I noticed that the shorter ones, they don't get watched as much. It's amusing. Okay. Anyway, 2 times speed. Put it on 2 times speed. And it should be fine and not take up as much of your time. But you got to know this stuff. I'm telling you. Everybody, they all say, if you want to really nail them to the wall, learn your maxims. And there's some ones in here that freaking, I read them and they literally made my skin crawl. You'll see in just a moment. Got to know what a deodand is, though. And I had already learned and looked that up and went over that concept in the past. And it's hard to look up deodans because the shit that they give you as a definition is not exactly what it was. I think we've talked about this before. Anyhow, let's get going. This is 1723. We're starting at 1723. Oh, here's what I should do. How many people are here? Like 1, I'm sure. Maybe 2. It's 1. Okay. So I'll put this over here for you again. It's Saturday. People should be out having a good time. I can't believe that we've gotten to the point where having a birthday party is now being a radical. I had a birthday party. Not for me. For little boys. And some of those little boys hadn't been out of the house, according to their parents who dropped them off or picked them up, for like a year. And one child, it was his first party that wasn't with the family. Children need to associate freely. And the First Amendment to our Constitution reflects what I'm reading you now. And they may not prohibit you from your freedom of assembly. All right. We've fallen so far that people won't even do that. It's just nuts. All right, let's get going here. Every act is to be, see, these are the omnis. Every act is to be estimated by the intention of the doer. The cause of vice and virtue proceeds from the will. Because some people don't intend to do harm, but they wind up doing harm. They didn't mean to. But other people are malicious about doing their harm, and that should weigh in the decision. Drunkenness both lights up and reveals every crime. Every law has either been created by consent. Every law has either been created by consent or established by necessity or confirmed by custom. Every law has either been created by consent. Right? There are no laws that we don't consent to. You've all decided to consent, and you haven't told them different. And by the way, notice this is law, not code and statute. So every law has either been created by consent or established by necessity or confirmed by custom. Custom is the highest form of law. Every great example has something of injustice, which is compensated by its public utility. Every oath ought to be founded on certain knowledge. Every will is completed by death. Every word sincerely spoken constitutes an obligation. All men are free men or slaves. Oh, wait, sorry. All men are either free men or slaves. That's it. You got no option. And guess where you are? Guess where I am? Guess where we ended up when you woke up and went, oh, oops, I is a slave. So let's get to it. Still here. All right. I mean, that one just like, okay. That's 1730, by the way. All men are either free men or slaves. One or the other. All citizens bound to defend the republic. Wait, all citizens are bound to defend the republic with their lives and possessions. All shall have liberty to renounce those things which have been established in their favor. All sisters are, as it were, one heir to one inheritance. All subjects are the king's servants. So, again, do you want to be a subject? Do you want to be a citizen of the republic? Well, if you want to be a citizen of the republic and the benefits and other things that come with being a citizen of the republic, well, you have to defend the republic with your life and your possessions. Okay. All crimes done openly are lighter. Right? So if you do them in secret, that's actually more heinous, more egregious. Let the things be done honestly and in order. Let all things be done honestly and in order. All things should be done freely and legally. All things are to be presumed against a wrongdoer. There's a good one, right? And there, I gave you the links to, hold the wrongdoers accountable. Now, what is a wrongdoer anyway? All things are to be presumed against a wrongdoer. So you need to read this with a dictionary, with either Black's Law or I got it over here. Not that one. Oh, and I needed to show you the other Hermes book, but I don't have it. Blue Law, yes. Or this one. Bouvier's does not have all the stuff in it that you need. So Blacks, go with Blacks, but go with all of them. Blacks, Bouvier's, all of them. Anderson's. Okay. So, I mean, you think you know what the words mean. You think you know what all the words mean, but you might want to look up the definition of wrongdoer and wrong. All things are presumed to be legitimately done until it be proved to the contrary. All things are presumed to be done solemnly. All contracts made under law perish under a contrary law. That's kind of important. It is not possible to explain in memorial all things requiring cognizance. All things which move to death are deodans. What? All things, this is the one that gave me chicken skin. All things which move to death are deodans. Spend a minute. Spend a minute on that one. All things belonging to the wife are also the husband's while the marriage continues. Notice that doesn't say all things belonging to the husband are also the wife's while the marriage continues. It says all things belonging to the wife are also the husband's while the marriage continues. The remedy of the law lies to open all within the kingdom who ask it. Oh, sorry. Incorrect. The remedy of the law lies open to all within the kingdom who ask it. There you go. See, the intonation important. That's why grammar is so important. Every action is a complaint. Every conclusion of a good and true judgment arises from good and true premises and sayings of juries. See, these are the omnis, like I said. Every dishonorable contract is odious to the laws. Every, not some of them, not, right? Every dishonorable, no exceptions, every dishonorable contract is odious to the laws. Every definition in law is dangerous, for there is but little that can be not overthrown. Every uncondemned person, doesn't say man, every uncondemned person is held by law as innocent. There you go, right? You're innocent until proven guilty. See, these are where our laws come from. Every innovation disturbs more by its novelty than benefits by its utility. Every interpretation, if it can be done, is to be so made in instruments that all contradictions may be removed. All lasciviousness is contrary to law. Love it. Every new statute should give a form to future times, not to past. Right? These are the statute merchants. These are their codes. This is where it comes from. Every privation presupposes former enjoyment. Every prohibition is equivalent to a command. Go spend a minute on that one too. Every plant and every action for its injuries is limited within certain times. Every ratification of an act already done has a retrospective effect and is equal to a prior command. Every rule is subject to its own exceptions, and every exception is a rule. Every rule is subject to its own exceptions, and every exception is a rule. That's what it say right there, 1759. Let's see here. There may be an abuse of everything of which there is use. Virtue alone excepted. All right. And then here, no Latin, just English. Once a fraud, always a fraud. Passage of time doesn't vitiate a fraud. Fraud is fraud. Once a fraud, always a fraud. Once a mortgage, always a mortgage. Once a recompense, always a recompense. Once quit and cleared, ever quit and cleared. One may not do an act unto himself. Oh, wait. Oh, sorry. It does not say unto. Right? Read the words. Don't put words that are not there. One may not do an act to himself. One should be just before he is generous. One thing shall inure for another. What do inure mean? I-N-U-R-E, as opposed to abjure. What do the ur? What do the U-R-E? That, like I said, etymology. Right? Get into that etymology. You must become obsessed with this language that you take for granted, because they use it against you to enslave you, slave. Oh, I'm sorry, bonded free man. The opinion is to be followed which favors the will. A thing certain must be brought to judgment. A thing which is to be sold must be certain. Apply to crypto. It is right that certain persons, lands, and certain estates should be comprehended in a declaration of uses. And see, this is the thing I'm saying. Watching old movies and stuff, I declare, right? I mean, declarations. You got to know about making declarations to certain people. Declare yourself, right? Just declare yourself and get them to recognize your declarations and get them to recognize yourself. That you, man, you, not person, in the sense that person means corporation or corporate fiction or corporate thing. Except for all the stuff that you sign that says you are. But I mean, other than that. Okay, so we leave this. I mean, we can go on for days and days on this. And I mean, I recommend you spend the time. This is how you bust their butts. This is how you do it. How's it? Yeah. Well, that's because we let the interlopers interlope into our marriages, into our children. There were, I mean, actually, I'm not going to get into personal details, but the courts were really, they were really, family court, they were really sticking their nose where it don't belong. And I had to, I had to swat them anyway, because that camel had its nose in my tent, and I was like, you're going to be in the tent pretty soon. And they would have been, except I started threatening to sue their bonds. And oh, you should have seen the difference in their opinion, or the difference in their, not opinion, but their countenance and attitude. See, because you can only have so many eyes in the room. So I had another one in the room, which my older boy was the other set of eyes, and he was looking at the clerks and bailiff and judge and so forth, because I mean he was just observing them as I spoke, and he saw their facial expressions. And see, this is again, um, the judges are excellent at hiding all of their emotion and so on. Um, Bailiffs and the regular folk, not so much, especially when they understand that. See, this is the thing: we have the ability to sense emotion. You need this part of the face to do it, right? And even this will help a lot, right? If you take the sunglasses off, but if you can see the person's face, um, the what do you call the emotion is usually apparent, and if you can read those emotions, see, and some people are better at it than others. Some people can't do that. Some people can't look at you and see if you're sad, and other people, right? You're doing your best to keep a brave face on, and then you go into grandma's house, and grandma asks you what's up immediately because she can look at your face and know immediately that her little grandchild or whatever is sad or happy or being mischievous or hiding something, or they know if you got something to tell them, right? So that's something we are good at. Apparently, that's something that the long skulls are not good at. And yeah, there's long skulls. Just do some homework for Pete's sakes. And no, not just down in South America in one little place. And no, it wasn't from boarding, although where'd they get the idea to board their heads like that in the first place? And you can see them. They walk among us still, and they're remnants and so on. They've done their best to make it so that it doesn't stick out so much. But if you look carefully, and a lot of them, what color is their skin? What's the color of their skin? This is the color of their skin. Not this. I'm way too fair. Um, but a lot of these, and I can show. Oh, I will do that another time if someone reminds me, or I mean, on this side of the camera, if someone reminds me, I'll put some stuff on my tablet so I can show, hold up pictures of what these people look like, and you won't miss it. You ain't gonna miss it because they don't look like us. All right, spend some time on that. The other one over here, I'm looking at the link that I put up there. Let's see here. The legal maxims, obviously. A treatise on arrest and false imprisonment. Must read. That's a must read. Mason's Manual of Legislative Procedure, not so much. Let's see here. I mean, good to read, but that's a bear. And that's for those of you guys that like want to get into government and so forth. You might want to know that. And then, Law of Nations is here. Like I said, it's also here. Oh, no, it's not that one. Which one is it? It's over there someplace. Or maybe it's not. Maybe I put it in the other room. Oh, there's the Supreme Yoga. Yay, found that. I did some. It's right in front of me. This one. That's Law of Nations is in here. That's a long read. And by the way, I think you can find the audiobook online. So you could read along with it or have somebody read it to you. And that's the thing. If you can't even have somebody read it to you, like you won't read it and you won't take the time to read or to have an audiobook or something and actually understand it, not just listen to it, but I mean, take some notes and get a feel for it. The word on the street is you are fit to be a slave. So take it and like it. Otherwise, educate yourself. Let's see here. Some facts about the law. That's definitely everything here is you ought to read it. But I mean, let's see here. Oh yeah, a brief in support of notice for dismissal for lack of jurisdiction. Might want to read that, and might want to maybe cut and paste some stuff as amendments or as articles or as attachments to your documents. Not put them into the document itself, but just either say "see attached" or "I am aware of" or whatever. You use your words, but jurisdiction, you ain't got none. Let's see. Uh, the report on the Commission on Unalienable Rights. Yeah, maybe you want to read that. 1776 reports, President's Advisory, 19th, right? Okay, this came from Trump, boy. This came from the Trumpy Trump. The chances, also County Sheriff's Handbook, you might want to print that and hand it to your sheriff as an attachment when you ask some basic questions about whatever it is. Especially if you have a lot of sheriffs, because every county is different. Hawaii, our sheriffs, it's nothing like anywhere else. This is as far outside the United States as you can be and still be part of the United States, technically speaking. But if you want to educate your sheriff, you might ask your sheriff, am I the same thing as that ID? Am I the same thing as that fictional name in all caps? The name of the thing is not necessarily the thing named, right? What did I do with that? We had a potty. Therefore, I had to clean up. Let's see. There you go. The name of the thing is not the thing named. Yeah, my house actually looks like a house at the moment. That's not going to last because a little while ago it was like a complete disaster area with books everywhere and papers all over the place, and that's just how I operate. I'm not especially neat. Anyway, and when people walk into my house and see that, they know what mode I'm in. Parliamentary law 101. Like I said, you should read everything here, but I mean, first things first. Bouvier's Law Dictionary, Black's Law Dictionary. Just read the first 14 pages of that Black's Law Dictionary, 4th edition. See, here's the thing: you got to know your enemies. Sun Tzu. We should go over some Sun Tzu. I should do some Sun Tzu here. You got to know your enemy. You got to know who they are, how they think, what they know, so that you can. Right? Because what did Sun Tzu say? If you know yourself and you don't know your enemy, you're going to win some battles. If you, actually, first start off. You don't know your enemy and you don't know yourself, you're going to lose all the battles. If you know your enemy, but you don't know yourself, you're gonna win some, lose some, but probably lose more. If you know yourself and you don't know your enemy, again, win some, lose some, but probably lose more. If you know yourself and you know your enemy, victory is assured. So that's why I spend time, because I recognize that the Masons have knowledge. What knowledge do they have? And do you need to be a Mason to put the black robe on? Almost every time. Do you know law? Do you need to study some of these legal maxims and so forth from whence the codes and statutes come, which are codes and statutes? They are not laws. And in order to be subject to the codes and statutes, they have to have a contract because they just happen to be merchants. It's a corporation. What are they selling you? They're selling you codes and statutes. They're statute merchants. And they have armed men to enforce these policies. It's a private corporate. It's like McDonald's. It's like if the cooks at McDonald's, if the manager at McDonald's walks in there and starts telling you how you can behave with your children and so on and so forth, and starts bossing you around and writing you, things that you're supposed to do. It's the fucking manager at McDonald's. Do I have a contract with you? Now, if I'm working for McDonald's and the manager sees that his fry cook is having some marital problems, and he like his fry cook, so he want to get involved and maybe, recommend a counselor or something. Okay, but I don't work at McDonald's. I ain't the fry cook. I don't flip burgers for McDonald's, so the manager doesn't get to tell me what to do or what time to show up at McDonald's. And if I was you, I wouldn't show up at McDonald's and eat nothing over there. Ooh, you need to take a look at what they're doing to the food supply. Food is a weapon. And then I see this stuff about This is for real, by the way. I just was around teenagers. I spent some time with teenagers for the first time in a while. I usually do it one at a time or maybe two at a time, but this was a larger group of teenagers. And yeah, they're trying to say, "Oh, you're transphobic if you don't date." And now you're transphobic if you don't want to date a trans, a guy that used to be a girl. That makes you transphobic. And then they give you the moniker of super straight. You're super straight if you don't want to fuck men. They're not coming for us. They're not coming for our kids. They're coming for our grandchildren. And I think you think that that means that there's going to be grandchildren for them to come for. No, 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 no. That's not what that means. That means we ain't going to have grandchildren. They keep this shit up. I am, but a lot of you aren't. How come? Because they got your children freaking sterilizing themselves with jabs to the point where we can't use the words. Really, you slaves are going to put up with this, right? They're going to tell you what words I can say and you can say on social media and videos. Really. That Constitution, again, didn't give us any rights. It was delineating hey, look, I can't speak. Get all excited. It was delineating the maxims, which are already the fundamental law, the common law. Again, no need for adjudication. You don't need to go to them. So you can hold court and be a judge, your own judge. Stand in your own judgment. There's guys showing you how to do that, how to do your own courts and stuff like that. But I mean, just get out. And like I was saying, because I watch my own videos and cringe. But when it's seasons 30, 30, 30, you got to tell them 3 times. Are they going to admit it? Are they going to be like, yeah, we've been deceiving you this whole time. Yes, this was fraud. Or are they just going to stand silent? But not until the 3rd time. First time, does he mean it? Second time, oh shit, 30 days later, comes with another one. Or maybe longer than that. And you just keep, right? I just keep peppering them, throw a letter, get the green card back, throw another one, right? Do you recognize I'm a man? Oh, look, here's a unique mark. Here's my seal. My seal doesn't look like anybody else's seal. My thumbprint. Well, there might be somebody technically, being that there's billions of us with an identical fingerprint, but it's a pretty rare occurrence for 2 guys with the same name to have the same fingerprints that are from different parts of the planet. But it's not that rare for 2 guys on this planet to have identical fingerprints, as it turns out. It's not common by any stretch of the imagination, but it's pretty freaking rare. You want to know what part of the experiment you are in? It's all right here. That's how good these guys are at tweaking our DNA. What other creatures on the planet have thumbprints or fingerprints in general? I'll leave that to you. Go look it up. They ain't not a lot of us that have those prints. Okay. What else did I want to do here? Oh, I was going to cover this a little bit if you get your hands on it. This is the nature of the judicial process, because I did that thing on the last video about warrants and complaints. So you got to know, what's the first step? The first step is notice, not filling out the warrant and stuff. The first thing is you're telling them that I'm gonna fill out a warrant if you don't such and such and such and such, because you did this, that, and the other thing, and those are the this, that, and the other thing that you're going to put on the warrant. And I'm going to give you a chance before I get this warrant filled out to deny or to rebut. If I'm wrong, correct me. If these things are legal and if everything you've done is lawful, then certainly, why would I complain? I don't want to waste everybody's time. So here's my notice. You got technically 10 days, but you're going to be cool and you're going to give them 30 days. 21 days, like if you're being like super cool. But like you want to be super, super cool, 30 days. But you could make it 10 days if you're in a rush. But just remember, if you give them 10 days, then you should expect them to give you 10 days. So you better get your ducks in a row when you start this thing off, right? Write your 30-day letter, write your 60-day letter, and write your 90-day letter ahead of time. So book, just put it in the mail. Boom, just put it in the mail. Boom, just put it in the mail. They ain't gonna respond. 99.9, they're not gonna. Their silence is what you want. If they respond and they're like, "Oh, well, here's where you're wrong," right? So, I mean, you need to be knowing what you're saying and what you're doing, what the words mean, where the law comes from. This heavy book right here is where the law comes from. These maxims that I'm reading you. All right. And then you got judicial process, and then you have due process, right? From the start, from when they first freaking walk up to you, when they come to your window at your car, when they flick those, like, everything has to be due process. It is a Republican form of government that you are guaranteed. And part of that Republican form of government is due process. But are you deserving of a Republican form of government if, one, you didn't even know you were supposed to have a Republican form of government? I don't like Republicans. I'm a Democrat. Okay. Well, again, slave. Get the fuck. You didn't know your rights because you never read the Constitution. And you never read the Constitution, or you never read the articles or the documents that the Constitution was based upon. What did our founding fathers know? How did they write that thing? These were not ignorant men. They knew these maxims. I guarantee that. Probably had to beat into them when they were children. They didn't beat it into us, did they? In fact, they made sure that you did probably. This may be, 57 years later. This might be the first time you've ever heard some of these maxims. And like me, you may need to look up some words. Deodand. What the fuck is a deodand? Never heard of it. Actually, it was Edge of Wonder where a guy was discussing this. I feel bad because Edge of Wonder, boom, gone off of YouTube. They got their own thing going. Edge of Wonder TV. I haven't subscribed, and I kind of miss those guys because they were goofy and amusing, and basically they did try to do some research. Anyhow, this right here, the nature of the judicial process. Maybe you should know a little bit about that. This I'm pretty sure you can find on Amazon. I may need to get another one. This is Yale University Press, though, so caution. But it does give you the nature of the judicial process, and I like this thing. Contents. Lecture and introduction. Method of philosophy. Lecture 2. Methods of history, tradition and sociology. Lecture 3. Method of sociology, the judge as legislator. Lecture 4, adherence to precedent, the subconscious element in the judicial process, and conclusion. 142 pages later. So basically, this is a couple of lectures. And then I've been trying to listen to Manly P. Hall, but some of his lectures, man, hard to listen to. Not because they're boring or anything, but because the audio quality is so poor. And they're trying. There's got to be a way to improve those, because it makes it difficult for them to listen to. But anyway, judicial process and knowing your due process rights will help. Because, like I said, do you serve the Republican form of government and the change or the reclamation of your estate and so forth? If you can't handle your estate, you don't understand anything about trustees and trust law, you don't have a clue about contract law, you don't know any memos, you don't know what, I mean, really? Maybe I had a friend that actually said, I've been in the system so long, I think it might behoove me to stay in the system. And I cannot disagree. Quite comfortable, got a large tract of land, got a comfortable house, which can be taken from her at any time. But at the same time, more than likely they won't. And she's getting old. And why would she? She's fine. And all the bonds, fuck it. They can have them. All right. You know what I mean? I mean, yeah, I get it. Others have a slightly different take on that. But, there is benefit to being the chattel property of United States Corporation. Make no mistake. But they're a little capricious, if you noticed, right? And what do we have here? We have rule by corporation, right? Corporations rule us. United States Corporation, State of Hawaii Corporation, County of Maui Corporation, right? County of Maui Police Department Corporation, Sheriff's Department Corporation. And now they got other medical corporations, Pfizer and so on, being ruling over us, and their representatives and salespeople actually ruling us. And the people don't have enough gumption to resist, apparently. Okay. This and this. Let's see here. Oh, this is the one where I was talking about claim, not change. Fraud vitiates everything from its inception. Void ab initio. That's a term you should actually look it up in here, right? See, and this is the thing, right? Let me just do this just for fun. Over here, there is a search function. So here's the search bar. And what am I going to pop in there? I'm going to pop in ab initio from the beginning. Look at them all. We're at 1949. An institution which was useless in the beginning cannot acquire force from after the matter. Let's find another one. Let's see here. That which is not valid at the beginning improves by lapse of time. Once a fraud, always a fraud, right? They start to go together. You'll start seeing how these are not thousands of different disparaging ideas or disparate ideas. They fit together quite nicely. Let's find another one. Confirmation supplies all defects through that which has done at the beginning was not valid. What? Did I read that right? Confirmation supplies all defects, comma, through that which has been done at the beginning was not valid. Oh, it does say through. It doesn't say though. It says through. Oh, through that which was done at the beginning was not valid. See, my brain wants that to say though. Anyway, all right. But that's not what I say. Let's see. An institution which was useless at the beginning. Okay, that's it. So those are the ones that I typed in Latin, ab initio. Let's see here. Let's go and type in some other stuff. See, and that's what I mean. When you do this, and when you now you can go through, you can punch the legal maxims, you can look up the words, you can do the legal maxims, and then look up the words. This is called research. This is why in old libraries, now see, we got lots of tabs open. They used to have that circular thing where you could have 6 books open at a time, and you could spin it, and okay, you read this one, and then go back and read the other one. That's called doing research. Something that we are been trained not to do. Oh, how about rebut? Right? You must presumptions. You must rebut all their presumptions. They presume you're intestate. They presume you're dead. They presume and it's true. They presume you owe the tax. And they presume that you enjoy being a chattel property of the thing, or you would have said something. They presume that you're a U.S. person. They presume you're a resident. They presume you are. If you got a driver's license, you must be a driver. Why would you have a driver's license if you're not a driver? Because you don't know well enough to say that, oh, by the way, I'm not driving, I'm traveling, I'm conveying myself in the conveyance of the day. This isn't a motor vehicle through which your statutes describe. This is my personal property. I don't need to register it to you so I can get usufruct of it. Oh, wait, but your statutes say they do. Well, yeah, I know what your statutes say, but you cannot convert my right into fee or into, right? And guess what? Supreme Court of the corporation itself said, yeah, you got the right to travel. How do you exercise that right? Here, it also tells you that exercising your right cannot do damage. Here, it tells you, oh, well, see, I'll let you do it. Type in exercising rights. See what comes back. But exercise of a right cannot do damage. Cannot be converted into fraud if you have the right to do it. Cannot be converted into a crime. Cannot be converted into a fee. They can't tax your rights. Not even the king. But we didn't know that. We went along with it. We signed a contract that said they can if they want to. I got to register my car. I'm a U.S. person. I'm part of this corporation. These statutes and codes apply to me. Unless they don't apply to me. I asked about USC 26. To whom does that is that positive law? It's not positive law. So now I got to know, am I a part of that class? Right. So that might be a question you ask along with your, telling them that you're a man and not a person or a business or a trade or business, and that you got first claim to that name. Might want to mention that to some people, and then let them know that, oh, by the way, I am claiming it, and first in line, I was first, you were second. Okay, let's see here. Oh, and before all of this, like I said, here's due process. Here's the me, myself, and I. And me, myself, and I is we, by the way. Um, I myself is we, lordship, as opposed to you're claiming your landlordship. You're claiming the fact that you have lordship over this. You're claiming to be a landlord. And look, I just read to you that you can't be a landlord and a tenant at the same time. So if you claim to be a landlord, you better get pretty clear on what that means. Right? What do we got? We got freemen and we got slaves. You use debt. I can prove 5 ways from Sunday that we slaves. Not just me and not just you. I am not out of the slave class. I am a member of the slave class. Clinton is not a member of the slave class, and neither is Trump. So yes, do you think it's the same law for the slaves and the same law for the ones that are not slaves? Do you think that? Because if you do, you're silly. Okay, let's see here. Notice of special appearance. See, this is the thing. You're going to put in a notice of special appearance and objection to jurisdiction or to claim of their claim of jurisdiction over you, their ability to speak law to you. Do it in advance before anything happens. Is it raining? Yeah, it's pouring down rain, and your ark ain't built. So now maybe you could at least put a raft together, right? And let them know in advance. So if you got a driver's license and you got pulled over, you're already ready to go into that court, and they probably don't want to see you because you've already told them, excuse me, I'm a living man. I happen to have this driver's license because trickery, deceit, fraud, etc., however you want to put it. But I'm a living man and or a woman, a man with a womb, and I've already told you, and it's seasoned 3 times, that you don't have jurisdiction over me, right? Because everybody's so worried. Oh, if I do this, they're going to beat me over the head with a billy club. Yeah, if you're a jackass. I've had multiple interactions now where I wasn't doing anything but sitting on my square, and they could not drag me out. They try. They want you to get uppity, disturb the peace, try to cause them harm, go ahead and fucking swing at a cop. Go ahead. I've seen a lot of guys. I've never done it, but I've seen a lot of guys that have. Result is the same 100% of the time. Right? I can say I can remember one time, and I was a young. I wasn't that young because I'd ridden my bike over there. So, but I was a young boy at the time, and parties, Hawaiian luau's, and they get drunk and they raise a ruckus, and the cops show up and blah blah blah. And I won't even mention the family name, but if you're on Maui, you know their last name. And yeah, they got into it with the cops too. And the cops decided maybe, just maybe, because there was too many, and that was back before the day when they come back with a fucking SWAT team and so on. The cops decided because the one boy did actually get his ass beat pretty good, but see, he could have pulled the gun. He didn't pull his gun, and they decided to get in their cars and go. That's one time I've ever seen that happen. Right? Other than that, no, that's not how it goes down. Not ever. Anyway, point being is that you don't have to get to that point if you can just tell them, what are you doing here? You got a state issued ID that tells me who you are. Oh, you're already going to be in trouble here. Oh, you don't want to show it to me, but we got to show you ours. We're not driving. We're just standing around drinking. What? On our property. So you want to come over here and tell us to be quiet? Maybe you should be a little more respectful. Right? Don't threaten us with arrest. Don't fucking throw your weight around because you're wearing a gun. That's aggravated assault. Right? You be good, we be good. See, but if you had this done and you'd done it 3 times, and you had put, oh, let's go over here to the treaty on jurisdiction. And there's a couple other letters that I have here. Oh, I don't think I actually gave them to you. Anyway, but there's here, there is this the same one? Let me go see if it's the same one. No, it's not. But you might want to, because I have another one that has all manner of cites to court cases and so forth. Um, oh no, okay, this could be good. I haven't read every document, obviously, but I have another one that is basically just a bunch of crap. I'd have to go find that. Okay, not today, tomorrow, or another time. I'll get to that one. But you could cut and paste all these various court decisions that you've looked up, and you know what the fuck's going on in those, right? You don't put anything in your letters that you don't know about, right? Hale versus Hinkle. I was just doing that one. So if I cite Hale versus Hinkle, I know what the guy was talking about and why, thanks to Kirk's Law Corner that went over that and said, all right, this, and this is what you want to take out of this case. Right? This is already, so again, in court, you can say, hey, look, this has already been decided. But anyway, you wouldn't ever get there if you had put it in 3 times that they didn't have jurisdiction. And those are, valid cases. And you can throw some legal maxims at them and so forth, right? So you object to their claim of jurisdiction and they don't, right? And and again, correct me if I'm wrong. If you do have jurisdiction, show me. You stand silent for another 30 days. I asked you once before, correct me if I'm wrong, here's your opportunity. Words to that effect. In your own writing, with a pen. Oh, look. Here's Harold's Purple Clan right here. Right? Anyway, so then, you think it's all just an accident and everything's just, but no, we live in a matrix. This is a simulation that is pretty fucking precise when you get right down to it. It scares me sometimes. And you're running, and you can hack the code. And that's why especially as a group, we can hack the code, but that's why they want to fuck with our DNA, and that's why they want our DNA, and that's why, anyway, it gets crazy and esoteric very quickly. The rabbit holes run deep, and a lot of them don't have anything to break your fall until you freaking finally splat on the bottom and go, wow, okay. And then let's see here. But yeah, lack of personal jurisdiction, lack on subject matter jurisdiction, and you basically what you want to do is, if you ever do get summoned or into it with them, first things first, notice of special appearance, followed right by objection to their claim of jurisdiction to even make you have to give them a notice of special appearance. Followed up by motion to dismiss. I'm a living man, and I don't have a contract with you. I'm not even coming to your court. Okay, much easier to do if you've already done this in advance and let them know and given them 3 opportunities to rebut you. Let's see here. And look, I'm only on this page. Look, this page has barely got any notes in it. Let's see here. Oh, you might want to give them, again, some notices. And don't do it all at once. You got 3 chances. So, hey, I gave you this other letter. Here's some more stuff. I gave you this other letter. Here's some more stuff. You never answered that stuff. So here's some more. You never answered that stuff. So here's some more. Or you can just do the same thing 3 times. Excuse me, IRS. I'm a man, living man. My individual master file should read MFR01. If it doesn't, you should correct your record. I'm a living man. I claim these names. I am authorized to represent, but I can't find any evidence that it's the same thing. So please, oh, by the way, change it from decedent to non-decedent. And if I'm incorrect in any of this, please. Right? People get cocky and give them self-addressed stamped envelopes and stuff. Don't do that. Just tell them, correct me if I'm wrong. You know my address? And if you don't, here it is on this document. Please respond to this. This is my depository. This is my, This is my home. Don't fucking put residence because you don't know what the word means. if you put residence. Let's see here. Okay, yeah. So there you go. They can speak law. Their jurisdiction is over. They have no jurisdiction over the living. They only have jurisdiction, the ability to speak law to the dead, which you are, if you didn't tell them that you're not. It's ludicrous. I think it's ludicrous. I agree with you that it's ludicrous, but this is the system we're in. Yeah, there you go. They are yucky, tremendously yucky. Huh. Okay, let's see here. Oh, also, and even in the family court case, especially, failure to state a claim upon which relief can be granted. Look, I want to settle this. State your claim. Is it superior to mine? And you might say something like, anybody that thinks that they have a superior claim to administer my estate over me, come forward. You're saying this on the record in court. But see, you could avoid getting into court if you'd give them your 3 letter, right? So who are you going to inform? Who are you going to send those 3 letters to? I recommend the Secretary of State. I recommend the Attorney General of your state. I recommend maybe even the governor and lieutenant governor. Risk management ought to get a letter from you. Perhaps your police chief or the person that acts as it. Maybe somebody in the Department of Motor Vehicles should get a notice from you. Notice, me living. Right? And no, they're not going to write back and go, okay, I see that you here, you're a living person, so now we're going to leave you alone and the cops are going to not, right? No, that's not going to happen. That's not how this works. They're not going to admit anything. They will stand silent, though. And if they don't stand silent, like I said, then you're going to be throwing, you're going to start the game of tennis. Let's see here. Oh, you might put this in there. This is something that I put in big letters. You should probably reserve the right to prosecute your own claims when you inform. Just put that in there as a declaration in your own writing. I reserve the right, right? Because you have all these rights. Like you have, and again, it talks about you have so damn many rights you can't delineate them all. And when they write a statute or a code, they can't cover every freaking thing in the statute or the code, right? So anyway, the point being is neither can you in your letters. And there is stuff in here that says, if I can't cover everything, and some things should be obvious, right? We hold these truths to be self-evident. All right, so and then understand that you're giving them the opportunity to adjust these claims, right? You ever like in a auto accident, what do? They send out a claims adjuster to adjust the claim up or down, or to reject it. So what you're doing is giving them an opportunity to adjust your claims. Because I have a section in one of my documents that I have all these claims. You want to adjust these? Be my guest. Right? You want to adjust my declarations? Adjust. What does that word mean? Adjust. Let's see here. Oh, again, rebut presumptions. See, when it starts showing up on page after page after page, like I got a whole file, you'll find all kind of pages here, right, of my handwritten notes. But when you start seeing, page after page. Oh, look here. That one just says, "What do you think?" Oh, fuck, I didn't see it. There's another good set of notes. I kind of give myself notes. And symbol turns out to be important. Every bit. You know what? First came symbols. Let's see here. Right? Numbers. And see, when you teach your little children, A is 1, B is 2, Q is 17, R is 18. You don't do it that way. They do. Because they can go backwards and forwards. You can only go ABC. Most of you, some of you can do it backwards, but most of you can only go forward. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, because that's the only way you learned it. You never went X, Z, X, Y, etc. Oh, look, I can't do it either, probably. I used to have students that could recite the alphabet backwards. Really, kids? Of course, because I'm looking for it, I can't find it. But anyway, over and over again, you're going to see you got to rebut their presumption. There's on page after page after page, I have that starting to show up. So let's talk about rebutting presumptions. How do you rebut presumptions? Well, you make declarations. There you go. This is actually the page I was looking for. Oh, I should start dating these. That's the other thing. See, your document should have dates, signatures, addresses, etc. What makes a document? Anyway, right? And I just read you out of the maxims. So, put this word into the maxims and see where it comes up. And then find out what this word means. And you're going to have a hard time finding out what this word means. Took a long time for me to dig that out. See, they are controlling knowledge right in front of our noses, these big tech companies, making it so you can't find stuff. All right, let's see here. Failure state claim, notice. All right. A usurpation. Okay. Oh, object. Yeah, subverting the law. That is subversion. All right, there we go. Put that one down. All right, one more page of notes. Rebut presumptions and assumptions. Notice of special appearance objecting to the jurisdiction. Look, I wrote it again. This is a different set of notes. Motion to dismiss based on grounds of lack of jurisdiction, lack of personal jurisdiction, lack of subject matter jurisdiction, insufficiency of process of service, right? Okay, so again, due process. And then I talked about style of process. In Hawaii, section 604, style of process, state of Hawaii, right? The state of Hawaii, not just state of Hawaii in all caps. Our style of process, if they come to you, if they come after you, if they're sending you a document, it should say the state of Hawaii in caps, or well, in title case, not in all caps. And how do they come after me in every document that I have from them? As I look upon the documents carefully, it only says state of Hawaii in all caps. That's the corporation. Fooled you. I not fooled no more. And I let them know I not fooled no more. And now they don't like talk to me. Because they can't talk to me. Because they don't have jurisdiction. So they can't law speak me anymore. And see, that's the other thing. They taught the pigs to read. You can't read that stuff. You think you can, but you don't know what the words mean, and you don't understand due to this book over here. Oh, and I want somebody to go do some homework, you monkeys. Get this book, and then tell me, where does it say in here, if it's in a box, it's off the page? Where does it say that? It says it in here. So when they hand you documents, and you notice, and when you look at those complaints, do you notice that there's no boxes around those complaints, in those complaint documents? Did you notice? Do I have some documents here that I can show as an example? I may or might not. Well, here's the 300 words. Oh, we should go over some of these 300 words also, but there's your homework. I already gave you a link to that. Great. Here, look. Everything in the box is off the page, technically. And that's just, here's a great one. Oh, look. Everything is in a box. Everything. How do you read it if it's all in a box, isn't it, if it's on the page? Well, because you don't know how to read, and you can't say, I don't understand this. Because you don't want to say something like that. You want to fool them into thinking that you do understand. So you would never say, I don't know. And what does it say here? If you don't understand, you're not present. Oh, here, perfect. They're perfect. Look at this motherfucker right here. How much information has this? Okay, none of this information is correct, so I don't even care. This is bullshit from top to bottom. There is no Ben Hosea Rogers Sr. That's a name, by the way, and it's in a box. And look, inside this box is another. Inside this box is another box, and inside this box is the raised seal. There's the LS right there. This is the original document. I should have just went, I can't understand any of this. Right? And look, see the purple? All right. Every bit of it's in a box. It's all in boxes. Oh, look, there's my happy state. Fucking with me. right? Because that's the private corporation right there. Because that isn't that right? Family Court of the Second Circuit. Yeah, all right. Is this a corporate? Yes, it is. I found their DUNS number and I asked them in a court of law, are you a tax exempt, not for profit, tax exempt? God, I can't remember all the things. But anyway, when I asked, it looked like the judge, like I had walked across her grave. And after a long and pregnant pause, which pleased the hell out of my son, she said, I prefer not to answer that. What is it? It's a tax exempt. It's 4 things that you're asking them. But what you're asking them is, are you a juror, right? Or are you a private corporation is what you're basically saying. But you're doing it right in legalese. And I had the legalese. I wrote it down. I'll find it here in my notes someplace. But anyway, no, they're not tax exempt. They're supposed to pay their tax. No, they're not public. They're private. No, they're not a government entity. They're a private corporation entity. And here is my proof. Are you coming in the style of process in which it says in your own codes and statutes for the state of Hawaii at section at HRS 604? Does that say the state of Hawaii in title case, or does that just say state of Hawaii? Right? I got the fucking documents. See, but now I can look at the document and see what's going on. Oh, look, here's the bonds that they're going to write. Right here. They're the bonds numbers. If you know how to look up bonds numbers, there it is. Then the whole thing, FCJ 114, yeah, you can find this bond if you know how to look it up. You got to know the date of the document. You got to know a couple other things. You got to know what kind of bond it is. But there it is. They don't lie to you about anything. They put it all right there. You just don't know what the fuck you're looking at. What else can I say about this? See, and this is what I mean. This is when you start to understand that, yeah, when they send you a document, when they put this piece of paper and they give it to you, is this on legal paper, by the way? Or is this on the letterhead? Oh, there's another big clue. You are hereby commanded to appear inside the box. I don't understand this command. If I can't understand the command, I might not be present. I'm just a man. I'm just a simple man. I'm man. You corporation. We no contract. Nah, you guys want to write 26-page treatises. So did I. I cannot make too much fun because fucking A, so did I. Nah, you don't need to write a 26-page treatise. You might attach stuff that's 26 pages long for them to read. Like, if I was you, I'm sitting here going, should I do it? I'm going to do it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to send the treatise on arrest and false imprisonment to a couple people as an attachment in a letter. But before you send the treatise before you send that to them, you might want to read and understand the thing. Just saying. Because they might quiz you. And if you come up lacking, right, they're Masons. Does this guy know what he's talking about? Well, let's ask. You've dared to ask them. So anyway, you might want to send it to them and just say, hey, everybody's going to be on the up and up here, right? I have this. Do we have a contract, by the way? Please produce it. Please produce documents that you are using to assume or presume that we have a contract. Because as far as I can tell, I'm not a sunset. See, anyway, I can't get too heavily into it because first rule of Fight Club is don't talk about Fight Club. But on the record, I trap them over and over again. So that the U.S. Marshals are going to have no hard time because it's on the fucking record. Because they thought I was an ignorant ass. I don't know. Sure looked like it to me. Was it even him? Let's see here. So, insufficiency. Oh, maybe you type that word into the collection of maxims. Just for fun. Oh, maybe you type in jurisdiction into the, right? I mean, just type some words in, see what maxims come back. Again, this was supposed to be done between the age of 5 and 25. You were supposed to study this. Right? This should have been part of your thing. Now you say, "Oh no, that's a lawyer. I don't want to be a lawyer. I'm going to hire an attorney." What does an attorney do? They a turn. What does that mean? You don't know, or you wouldn't hire them. They're going to turn you over, guys. Oh, us slaves. It's actually gotten to the point where it's just enjoyable because I just realize how fucking ridiculous it all is and how ridiculous I was walking through this world for so many years thinking that I actually had a fucking clue when I didn't have any fucking clue. And now that I've got a clue, I realize how clueless I actually am, was, and still am, and will be into the future. But I'm working hard to remedy it. Let's see here. What else did I put in here? Oh, that you cannot be prosecuted by information alone. What does that mean? That's from Kirk again. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, these were notes I was taking from Kirk's on one of his things. Let's see, because here's the thing: they assume powers that they don't have. So you might ask them if they have this power. Can you point to the law, or can you point to the statute, even in your code sections and your statutes and codes? Can you point to where it gives you that authority or it gives you this power? This is, and then this is the thing that you're going to have to understand and go back to the maxims. What does it say? The affirmative is the side that has to that bears the burden of proof, not the denier. So if I deny that you have that power and you affirm that you do, well, then you got to prove that you do. I don't have to prove that you don't. That comes back to mathematics. 0 and 1. You can prove 1. You cannot prove 0 without. You can deduce 0 from the absence of things. 1 minus 1 is 0. But you cannot prove 0 in the positive. All right, so mathematics, again, logic and reasoning. So come back to the fact that if they're saying they have such and such power, they have to prove that they have it. Now, here's one of the things that they're going to say. This is one of their outs. This is one of their plausible deniabilities. It doesn't say I can't do it. Yeah, but see, it doesn't say you can. So they're going to try and script, right? Well, it doesn't say I can't. Well, yeah, that's not how this works. That's not how any of this works. Go back and read your maxims. So yeah, if it doesn't say you can, if it's not delineated in your oath, or it's not delineated in your office, or it's not delineated in your code and statute, then no, you cannot assume power. You cannot assume to tell me to put a mask on. You cannot assume that your rules and orders supersede the freaking Constitution that are supposed to be protecting my fundamental rights. Why you can't talk like this? Because you in slave school, and in slave school they never teach you nothing. They never teach you how to fucking barely even write. You don't even know how to fucking punctuate. I didn't make fun of these guys. The guys that talk like this. You're not any fucking smarter than they are. You just think you are. And a lot of those guys have wisdom that you'll never possess. Anyway. Oh yeah, and if we go to 64, let's go to 64. Oops, not that one. This one. Yes. All right. So we'll just type in 64. See, and that's the other thing. You can do it by number. I mean, everything's so great. 60. Oh, wait. 1964. No, we got to go way back. There's going to be a 64 quite a few times between where I want to go. Oops, maybe I got to get to the top of the document. All right, hold on. Because there's a 64 in every. Oh, should I put 0? Oh, well, no, see. I don't think I can do it that way. Let's try 0064. Nope. We'll just go to 64. Give me a second. Scrolling. Oh, wow. I'm at 1300. Good God. All right. Hold on a second. There we go. There's a command to go to the top of the page, and I don't know it. Oh, so much to go. Oh, no. Stop it. Go. And look, can you hear my computer overheating because it's trying to process all this? 538. We're getting close. See, that's why 2 times speed. I apologize for those of you that are watching live. Or 2, not 4. I don't apologize for you. I apologize to you. Geez, those little words, they seem to make a difference, don't they? All right, there we are. Got to the top of the page. Give it a second to render. And let's see here. Oh, I went too far. Yeah, there you go. All right, so now, I can't wait to do this photo reading class. Stop it. All right, 64. In order to rightly comprehend a thing, yes, there you go. There it is. So, in order to rightly comprehend a thing, inquire first into the names, for a right knowledge of things depends upon their names. Boom, right out of here. That's why I put the 64 there. Judges and not juries respond to questions of law. Suspicion rests strongly on the unfortunate side. Right? Yeah, that's a good one, actually. Those that are claiming to be unfortunate or harmed, that's where you should be suspicious of that. But that doesn't mean they weren't harmed. It is not lawful to build upon your own land so as to injure that of others. So the skyscrapers that cast shadows, they had to rule that that was an injury. Yes, it was. You blocked out the fucking sun. Let's see here. Natural reason allows one to defend himself against danger. I mean, see, like we can go all day. Just, you got to get to know these. Let's see. Not that one. No, I'll go over this one. Do we want to do history? I'll put some history. The crown, the temple, and the bar. It's one thing. Right? And here, look, I drew pictures and everything. Right? So the city of London, Vatican, D.C. City of London, there's the symbol for them guys. Oops. See it. Go look for that symbol. As opposed to, as opposed to that symbol. Right? Let's see here. Different guys. Same club, different guys. Let's see here. So the three things are one thing. Oh! Let's see if I can find that one. Fast one. Speaking of the three things that are one thing. And yeah, I do jump all over the place. Which is why this is fun. Where would that be? That would be in... Oh, crap. What did I do with it? Should have been prepared, darn it. All right. Is it on my desktop? I bet you it's on my desktop. Open your bugger. Nope. That's not it. All right. Hold on. It's coming. Oh, I bet you I stuck it in another file. See, what's happened here, kids, is this computer crashed. And the guy put in a hard drive that's freaking tiny. And it makes it impossible for me to find stuff because I have to put it on this other drive. And anyway, but John Cabot, I was going to read you the direct quote, but I don't can find him. So John Cabot, the enterprising Phoenician that happened to be living in London, was given some land grants in this new world. Oh, he was a Phoenician. He was one. Who are the Phoenicians again? Oh, I mean the Venetians. We call them Venetians, but they were Phoenicians before that. Because your linguistics is poor and your understanding of the words, and you think that nothing means nothing and there's no etymology or anything. Not going over that. Clans and tribes, and I don't need to go over that. Oof, this is all religious and shit. We'll skip all this. Let's see here. And, the grantee is not to cause harm to the grantor. So, again, if you learn a little trust law and you learn your where you are in the trust, grantee, grantor, beneficiary, trustee, etc., Like I said, ain't no trust in this country. I would not endeavor to make trust. And I see people using trust very creatively to go around things and bulletproof their assets. But if you stay completely in the private, your assets are already bulletproof because they can't come after you because they don't have jurisdiction. But that becomes very difficult. That becomes the law, the money side of things. That's why. First things first. What's the first thing? You're a living man. Oh, not IRS no can talk to you. So now you don't have to worry about IRS anymore. That's one of the ways. Because here's the thing: any of you guys wind up becoming crypto millionaires. The first thing you're going to find out is how many people are going to try and take your money illegally, via tax, via all kind of stuff. As soon as you try to transfer in that money, oh well, we're going to take a little fee here, we're going to take a nick there, we're going to take a dime there, we're going to take right. Because if you get some money, slave, they're going to try and take some money, and it's not money; it's currency. This is our money. This is actually our money. This is like this is minted by the United States. This is money. Standing Liberty. $45 at the moment on eBay. Can't get these for $20. My son, my younger boy, came over with a $20 bill and he wanted to buy some silver for me. And then I showed him because he was looking at the spot price and it's like $27. It's like, oh, Dad, I'm like, it's more like $45. But yes, I will sell you a piece of silver for $20. It's my boy, right? But and then I gave him a choice. He took a I can't remember if he took a buffalo head or an Indian head coin. But anyway, the idea being is that he bought an ounce of silver from me because he had done some labor and he made $20 and he wanted a coin. And I told him he could pay me later. But Dad's the bank. Because both sons have started to look at, they have fucked us when it comes to this whole fiat currency thing. And maybe they want to prepare in their own little ways. They're going to be fine because they're my sons. But I mean, at the same time, he's taking some personal responsibility, converting his paper into silver, which is actually money. The paper was currency. And our currency is debt. And so there's yet another way that I know I'm a slave because I use debt for currency. I don't have any money in my pockets. I have slugs. Now, none of them slugs contain any of this silver stuff. Let's see, it all boils down. Anyway, but the reason I got into that tangent is because before all the money and all the currency and all the other stuff, when you start to get it, you need to, if you want to secure your liberty, you want to secure your rights, you must let them know that you're a man or a man with a womb. Not a person, not a corporation, and that you are first in line. And according to this maxim right here, it says first in line is, oh, wait, let's read it. Let's see. Let's see here. I'm going to write, what am I going to write? I'm going to write first in time. It does not show up because obviously that's not part of the maxim. I'm not reading it right. How about first in? What is first? Let's see here. Because it's a maxim at law. Except for the part where I can't find it. I love it. He who first offends causes the strife. So that's the thing. Don't offend your Don't offend your opponent. No, right? The one who dishonors first loses. Oh, here we go. What is first is true, and what is first in time is best in law. Bam. You are the true. They are the false. You were first in time and therefore best in law. And then through unlawful conversion, wow, I'm going to start learning these words like that. And then I can't speak them. I can't speak my own law. I'm going to be the law speaker. That means I get jurisdiction. Let's see here. A wise man begins with the last, and what is first in intention. What did I just read? Okay, a wise man begins with the last, And what is first in intention is last in execution. There you go. A wise man does everything advisedly. The wisdom of law cannot be valued by money. Anyway, point being is you was here first. You was the first one. They was the second one. So you're first. So you want to claim the fact that you own that name. Are you the same as the name? Who are you? I am. Let's see here. Or you could just say I, man. And then get into, okay, so once you get that handled, now you're going to be immune to most movement by them because you're not in their jurisdiction. That'd be you, that'd be this thing, but not the name on the documents, right? And then they give you bullshit documents. What did I just do with that? I had it, but I put it down. Where they try to name me this. That ain't my name. That ain't my son's name. At all. You know how many Ben Rogers there are out there? Which is why the Crouton Ramon thing. But that's not his name. We showed up anyway. Did I know that at the time? Yes, I actually did know that at the time. Did I set them up over and over again and make them because they thought I was an ignorant slave? She figured it out at the end, and then they pulled her and they put a new judge in. Right? And that new judge was not happy to see me. And then finally, he was so unhappy to see me, he wouldn't let me in his courtroom. And I didn't even get everything done yet. And I can tell you, here, wait, we'll do a little reenactment. I'm going to play two parts here for you. Oh, no, I don't have anything. All right, fine. All I have is this. We'll use this. We'll pretend this is my ID. This is kind of cool. What is this thing? Does it do it? Thing? Oops. That way. There you go. Oh, somebody gave me this. All right. We'll pretend this is my ID. So, police officer, I'm going to reenact what happened over here. So, the police officer, where's your mask? I don't have a mask. Cuts me off. Right? Flicks his lights on in the middle of traffic on this street, which is quite busy. Cuts me off on the sidewalk. Puts his mask on. Says, "You got ID?" I said, "Do you have ID?" He just kind of looks at me like, "What?" Now, am I going to be an ass? No, I'm not going to be an ass. All right, so he gets out of the car. All right, now I can clearly see that he's armed. I ain't afraid of guys with guns. Just not. Right? Because half of them, well, we won't get into it, but get some training and you ain't going to be afraid of guys with guns. You're going to be afraid of guys with knives, though. But guns, not so much. Anyway, so he's like, "Do you have a license or something on you?" Okay, I'm a pedestrian on the street. Well, why do I need a license? Am I required to carry ID in this state? Oh, persons are. I don't know about men and women, but I can guarantee you there's codes for that and statutes for that. So anyway, I hand him my ID. Oh, wait, I'll be over here. So I hand him my ID. So he's over here. He's like, he literally did that. Like it shocked him. Like I had electrical shock on this thing. He goes, "Look at it, right?" Okay, then he steps away from me, and at a distance, he hands it to me pretty much like that. Okay, so I take my license back, and then he begins to, all right. So do you see the paperwork can make a difference, right? Again, don't be a dick. Stay on your square. Did I have to show my ID? No, because right here in the maxims, it says I don't have to arm my opponent against me. You can't make me. They do it all the time. Right? They can't bust your window and pull you out of the car because you want to answer their questions. They do it all the time. And you don't know enough to make sure that cop never fucking works as a cop ever again because you don't know how to sue their bonds. You didn't know they had bonds. You didn't know you were bonded. They don't. Half of them don't even know they have bonds. I know they filled out some paperwork about something about insurance in case I fuck up or something, but they don't explain to them that no, those are bonds, and that us guys can sue those bonds. And if we do sue those bonds, you're out of a fucking job the next day. Right? Never mind administrative leave. You off the force. See, how long have I known about this shit? I've known about this shit for a long time, but I just never lazy and, if I'm honest, probably the fear factor. But now, enough of that. Okay, so what I do, and like it's so hard. What? I learned how to work this thing, right? I mean, come on, that's what it boils down to. I learned how to do this with this, what words to write and who to write them to, and what paper to use. Right? All my original documents, you see the copy. So you know there's a copy because it's in black and white. It's not in purple. Right? And put the copies someplace safe. Right? Now, courts, you can make a copy for yourself, and you can make a copy for the court. There's a lot of courts, like our court over here. You put a document into the court. It has to be the original document. They want originals. But when you're sending stuff to other people, you can let them know this is a copy, and if you want to inspect the original, it is in my possession. But you could send them an original because you can make another original. They can't. They can only copy it. So you could write it twice, seal it twice, send them a certified copy with your thumbprints on it, thumbprint and seal and so forth, and say there is an identical document to this. Well, it might not be identical because your seal is not going to be in exactly the same place and your signature is not going to be exactly the same, but they are basically identical documents that are originals. I gave one to you. You need to answer me. I keep this one just in case you don't ever answer me, so I know what I sent you. Right? Or you could make a copy, but they can see there's technicalities here that I'm not going to get into, but they could technically tell you that your copy isn't good. And we never got that first copy. Oh, wait a minute. I have the green card that says you did. It won't come to that, I promise. But I can't promise because there's an infinite number of possibilities in this infinite universe. But at the same time, I'm telling you, season these things up 3 times and you're going to be happy and know what to ask and figure out that, State of Hawaii Corporation, State of California Corporation, State of Nevada Corporation, they are corporations, even though they'll lie to you and try and tell you that they're your governments, you crazy slave. You know what you need? You need a psych evaluation. Well, I'll tell you what, I will follow that order. If you're going to order me to have a psych evaluation that you sign, because the judge will sign. All right, so since you signed that, I will agree to that. Which one is this? The 5 ways to respond? I will consent if you can show me that you're not a private corporation. If you can show me that you are a de jure court. If you can show me that you filed your Form 990. If you can show me that letter that I just wrote to the IRS that says that they have no record of you being a tax-exempt government entity. Not-for-profit, tax-exempt government entity. No, you're a for-profit, non-tax exempt, but you don't pay your taxes. And I'm going to tell. Don't worry, though. They got exemptions. Like serious exemptions. They usually don't go over their exemptions. They're smarter than that. So you're not going to get them actually into much trouble for that. People have tried. And it's like, no, actually, yes. The only thing you can get them in trouble for is the fact that, well, because they have exemptions, that means that they owe tax, which means that they're not a tax-exempt government entity. And they tried to defraud you into thinking that they were. Oh, okay. So you got to take a different tack, right? They zig, you zag. But the point being is that you get this knowledge under your belt. You can hit them with some maxims. You can hit them with some, stare decisis already been decided by other cases. How do you res judicata is how you show the stare decisis. What is res judicata? Right? And don't use their fucking language. Those are cases that show what you're talking about. Right? You can cite them. And like I said, don't put them in documents. Put them as attachments. Here, let's do some res judicata here. Hold on a second here. So you know what I'm talking about. How long am I going on? It's only an hour and a half. What the hell? We got time. Where am I going to go with that? I'm going to go with open office is where I'm going to go. Let's see here. And if you don't think that they're logging every single keystroke, you'll fool yourself. Hope this doesn't crash my computer trying to run all this stuff at the same time. Let's see here. Shouldn't be too big of a deal. All right, let's see here. Vicar General, risk management. See, these are all the letters I got going. IRS notice to revoke power of attorney. Let's see, Maui Police Department. I bet you it's the untitled. Wow. It's a stormy day. Oh, next. Can't open it that way. Gotta do this. All right, there you go. There you go. That's the one I want. Oops, but it's opening a whole bunch of other ones at the same time. All right. Okay, so now, not the risk management letter. And it's cool. There's a friend of mine that works at risk management for the county of Maui. Hot redhead. Still a hot redhead. And she in her 50s. I know this because we went to school together. And she is a lawyer. And I bet you she recuses herself because she doesn't want to match. Well, not because she doesn't want to match wits with me, because I bet you she'd be happy to match wits with me, except for the part where, we know each other. So she kind of sort of has to, I'm pretty sure she's going to recuse. Anyway. Oops, here's my second notice of default to the lovely IRS. All right, here we go. This is, I don't know, I got to put this up someplace. I don't know where I got this. This was a guy that was defending himself, and I just pulled the stuff that he defended himself up. Jurisdiction can be challenged at any time, and jurisdiction, once challenged, cannot be assumed and must be decided. Basso v. Utah Power and Light Company. Right? Okay, go look up that case. What was that about? Defense of lack of jurisdiction over subject matter may be raised at any time, even on appeal. Hilltop Developers v. Holiday Pine Service Corp. Once challenged, jurisdiction cannot be assumed. It must be proved to exist. What does the maxim say? He who affirms must prove. Right? All right, see. See, now I just go in here, use my happy search engine. Type in affirm, which is going to show up a lot. And affirmations. Oh, there you go. An affirmative statute does not take from the common law. So their right there. Do their statute right. Anyway, like I said, you got to learn what this means and think about how it applies. And you can't figure out how it applies until such time as you start to learn. All right, let's put an S on it. S. Hey. There you go. He who affirms, not he who denies, must bear the burden of proof. He who affirms must prove. That's 115 and 116. An affirmative implies a negative. Right? Okay, so see, we just like words surrounding affirmations and affirming. Ooh. The proof lies upon him who affirms, not upon him who denies. There's a bunch of aegises here, but I'm not going to go over those. That's a whole other thing. Let's see here. Enumeration disaffirms the rule in case not enumerated. In cases not enumerated. Let's see here. The exception affirms the rule to be the contrary. And then we're back. That's it. Okay, so those are affirms, right? So you can go through every time you want to use a word. Hey, I wonder if there is a maxim that goes along with this word or that has this word in it. There is no discretion to ignore the lack of jurisdiction. Joyce v. U.S. There is no discretion. They have no discretion. They have no discretion to ignore that lack of jurisdiction. Oh, maybe you want to go read the case and see where that comes from. Where jurisdiction is contested, the burden of establishing it rests upon the plaintiff. Simple. The burden of proving jurisdiction rests on the party asserting it. So there you go. They got to prove it. I can go over about 100 of these. That the same thing has been decided. That's stare decisis. It's been decided over and over and over again that maxim of law is the truth, and that those who affirm must be the ones that prove. It's not the people that defend. Oh shit, my rights here. They're going by every day. Make it look like they're doing something. Proof of jurisdiction appearing on the record to wait a minute. Proof of jurisdiction appearing on the record to state jurisdiction of the record, the facts necessary to give jurisdiction. Oh wait, I'm sorry. That's a title of a thing, and I can't blow it up. If the record does not show upon its face the facts necessary to give jurisdiction, they will be presumed not to have existed. Norman v. Zieber. I got to get you guys these, or you can find it. It's a treatise. Or maybe you can't. I don't know. For a crime, see, and this would be, I would put these in my, as an amendment, not in the document, but as a attachment to the document that says regarding jurisdiction, right? Here's stare decisis. Here's res judicata with regard to jurisdiction. You ain't got it. Here's how I know. If you think that this is all this stuff that I just gave you, and that my declaration that you don't have jurisdiction is wrong, correct me. You got 30 days. And you know what? I'm lying, because in 30 days, I'm going to give you another 30 days. And after 30 days again, 60 days, I'm going to give you another one. And I'm going to assume that you didn't have jurisdiction. And you fucking know it. I told you thrice. Right? I didn't stand on the side of the road saying you don't have jurisdiction in the middle of the night and fucking rain with a guy with a gun and an IQ cap. What I did is tell him in advance so that I don't have to stand in the fucking rain talking to some guy with an IQ cap and then she trigger finger because he's scared because it's dark and rainy. They're just men. So have some compassion for your fellow man who basically tries to do a job that you don't want to do, which is why they're getting away with it. We're not supposed to have standing armies. We're not supposed to have large groups of men with guns that can come around and bully us. We're supposed to be able to defend ourselves due to the Second Amendment with a militia of like-minded people. That's not what we got, who understand the Republican form of government and who understand the Constitution, who may have studied a little bit of law, enough to know the maxims, enough to be able to tell them, you can't do that. This is the common law that we're dealing with here. We are a common law country. The common law is the supreme law of the land, not your fucking code and statute, and certainly not your rules and or not even declarations, but like rules and orders from governors and mayors. Do not supersede the common law or any of these maxims. And they're getting away with it for over a year now. Now, you can't go outside. You got to wear a mask. You got to stay 6 feet away. You can't have your fucking family over for dinner because I said you can't have a family gathering. You can't celebrate 4th of July. You got to cancel the 4th of July parade because you fuckers free. You so free, you got to do what I tell you. Yeah, okay, I'll put the mask on. I'm sorry. Fuck. Anyway. All right. I've shocked you into silence. I like it. But I mean, fuck slaves. It's our fault. This whole fucking thing is our fault. Let's see here. Am I going to cover this? No, I'm not going to cover this. Oh, you may want to tell them to cease and desist from violating your rights. You may want to do that after you rebut their presumptions. You may not do. You don't. Okay, you got 3 shots. Okay, you're going to shoot one time. Okay, cross the bow. Maybe they shoot back. Most likely they're not going to shoot back. Then you shoot them again. Still never drop them. And finally, headshot. That third one. They're not coming back from that. Right? Because you got to watch out the wounded animal. You only shoot them once. You got to watch out. The wounded animal is going to try and fuck with you. Going to try and trick you. Going to try and, right? You got to put them down. Takes 3 shots to put them down. Pap, pap, right? Not a double tap. Not I'm fucking killing you. I'm killing you fucking dead. Pap, pap, pap. Okay. But you can do it with Harold's purple crayon. Or maybe you prefer blue. Or maybe you think blue and purple are silly, so you're going to use, oops, that's green. There's my black one. The cap missing. But anyway, the black one. Right? You're going to learn how to fucking work this thing. Right? It's easy to do this. It's easy to do this. They love it when we do this at each other. No, it's fucking easy to do this. Much harder to do this. And that's why this thing so much mightier than this thing. Any fucking fool can pick up one of these. A child can pick up one of these. Right? So what you want to do is have your child learn how to use one of these. So that we don't have to use these. Okay. Oh, look. The other thing. What? Why is it green? I guarantee you I got their attention. Guarantee it. Who the fuck? What? Right? There's not a lot of us. See, I don't quit. Every day, every fucking day. A few hours a day. At least some manly pee hall. At least some studying of I got so much stuff to study, there's not a fucking enough hours in the day, honest to God. But the maxims. Right? And then just having a great time with the maxims. And there's 350 pages of this book. This is not a thin book. And then when I'm fooling around with the maxims, it makes me think about this and that. And then I realize, hey, I should maybe just, like I said, how am I going to let them know that I know this stuff? How am I going to let them know that I actually did take the time to read? Right? Because they know most of you won't take the time to read. Most of you are fit to be slaves. Most of us are fit to be slaves. We lazy. I'd rather drink beer and watch sports. Actually, that's never been that big into sports. But, watch a movie or a whatever, right? As opposed to sit here and sift through this shit and find out how stupid I am with each passing hour. How little I actually know. I mean, it's ridiculous. I know nothing. I've scratched the surface. And then I think, holy crap, most everybody done it this much. Wow. Anyhow, the bottom line is you got to educate yourself. And then you can educate others. And you can only help those who will help themselves. You can pass fishes and loaves and feed the masses. And if you're good enough, the crumbs will fill 12 baskets. But see, they got you thinking, it's a miracle. That's a miracle. He fed all them people. It's a miracle. He somehow managed to turn the bread into lots of bread. And then he made the fishes into more fishes, and everybody ate. 5,000 of them. Not even counting the women and children. It's a miracle. Okay, massa. I fill out the 501c3. That's why I told the slaves for you. Give me my money. It's not a conspiracy. Many of your ministers and pastors were paid to lead you to slaughter. Go take a look at that conspiracy. Prove me wrong. Oh, wait, you don't have to. He who affirms bears the burden of proof. Well, you know what? Not this time. Just for there's no exception to that rule, but I'm not doing everything for you. Go find out. These fuckers don't love you. They don't love you. They don't love your children. They don't love your mother. In fact, they think the fact that you love your mother should be something that they can try and twist into something disgusting because they're disgusting. Right? I'm at the point where I can't even hug little girls anymore. I won't let them in my house, right? Because I'm painted with that same fucking brush. Because it's so pervasive now. And you guys don't know who to trust. We got a sick fucking society going on here, and it needs some cleaning up. You ain't cleaning it up, ignorant and poor. I'm sorry, that's not how it works. That is not. It's never worked like that. So first, secure your liberty. Sound like a. I mean, that's so trite, but I mean, first, secure your liberty. First, figure out what documents to send where. Get that 90 days. Get them to season up. Get it so they know they don't have jurisdiction. Oh wait, I'm not. I wasn't even finished with that. We'll come back to that and just some more jurisdiction stuff. Like, because you don't have that letter, but you can look up the cases and start looking it over. And actually, if you look up, if you do treaties on jurisdiction and so forth, and if you look at this one here, that it's at Kirk's Library, click that, and then it's the one that says, oops, let's just go over to Kirk's Library, and I'll tell you what it says. Not the treaty on arrest and false imprisonment, not the law of nations, but the one that says brief in support of notice for dismissal for lack of jurisdiction. This is something I'm pretty sure Kirk wrote up, but it has many cites to it. In that, I recommend you don't just blind faith the sites, because guess what? The guy's a man, so am I. Men are fallible. We make mistakes. We may not be trying to make a mistake. We may not be trying to lead you astray, and yet we lead you astray. See, that's the difference when it comes to intent. If I was a shill for the government, I would be maliciously trying to lead you astray and give you fucked up bullshit sites that aren't there. See, but Kirk's not doing that. He's trying to educate you. Look, he give you all this stuff for free. Go get yourself a Black's Law Dictionary. In the meantime, here, look, here's a PDF. Go get yourself a Bouvier's. They're right there. That's probably going to be $200. Right? But those are two books that should be in your house. Should be in your little library, right? What do they do, right? Cribs. You see these people with these fucking fat houses, not a goddamn book in the whole house. Right? Where's your bookshelves? Where's the library? Where's the reading room? I got billionaire friends. Their freaking library is as bigger than the one down the street. Makawa Library. Right? The guy that taught me math, his basement, floor to ceiling, books on shelves. And then, like it was a library down there. And it was a pretty fucking big basement because that was a good sized house. I stole some of the books out of his library because I knew when he died that they would get spread to the four winds. Here's one of them. Right? Oops, he said, holding it upside down. There's another one, Vedic mathematics. I stole that one too because I knew, right? I didn't steal it. I borrowed it with no intent of giving it back. And he was cool with that because he knew, right? Because, yeah, and he had one hell, and almost every book down there was math, right? Or physics, or the teaching thereof, or original shit from Maria Montessori. And Dan. Right? A very specialized library. Right? Works of Plato and Aristotle, all the classics, all that shit down there. Right? Most people, oh, here, look at my Lamborghinis. Give a fuck about your Lamborghinis. They're fun. Oh, here, look, here's a room full of liquor. Look, this is expensive liquor. Could give a fuck. Okay, go ahead and summon your demons. Oh, look, it's my lovely art that's crap. Where are your fucking books? Oh, look, here, I have some sculpture. Where are your books? And that thing too, you walk into a man's library and you read, and you'll know about the man just by looking at the titles. I'll leave names and locations out, but I walked into this one man's library, and he had a Hawaiiana section that had fucking Cook's original books in there. Right? Because when Cook came back, they printed. He had, and all the original plates and all. They were. Anyway, and he had this La Perouse, and because he had a little Hawaiiana section, so that might tell you that he had some stuff from here. So I learned a slightly different history than the one that was foisted upon the people here that are now currently being exterminated. Ain't gonna be a lot of these Hawaiians ain't gonna have grandchildren. There will be no grandchildren. That's the plan. They lining up for their shots as I speak. Not a goddamn thing I can do about it because they ain't gonna listen to me. I don't have control of the mind. They putting the I put a mask on my kiki. That's the right decision for my family. Well, actually, they're not going to say family. They're going to say Ohana. We protecting Ohana from the howling. We put the mask on the children. We go take them to the doctor for get the jab for they no can come sick. By the way, it's trying to call that I can't use the word, starts with a V, is a lie because it's not. I put that up on my page on Facebook and Facebook took it down. Meantime, Bill Gates say what the fuck he like. Meantime, Fauci say what the fuck he like. But doctors who have actually done the science and are actually in the field looking to, they delete that. And they're telling you what this thing is. And what this thing is not what you think it is if you think it's for curing the Rona. That's not what it's for. It's for curing, all right, curing them of having to worry about you reproducing. Curing them from having to pay you your just dues if you're over 75. Curing you from ever learning the shit that I'm doing right now and claiming your estate if you're over the age of 75, because that bond only lasts for 75 years only. They don't love us. Get it through your fat heads. Nothing they do. They have been utterly and completely corrupted by the Satan. And anybody that hasn't gets driven out or murdered. Your children are not safe. And you know it. You are not safe in your house. You are not safe in your car. You take a risk every time you travel. Every time. That some pirate, oh, your lights, oh, you weren't wearing your seatbelt, oh, I thought I saw you talking on your cell phone, oh, any excuse to stop you because there's so fucking many rules and regulations now that they can get you for whatever the fuck it is. To extract wealth from you because you're fucking ignorant, because they know that they will summons you and you will show up because you haven't done your paperwork. Meantime, if you hand them a certain document, they're going to look at that document and they're going to go, have a nice day. And that's the other thing. Taught my boys this, right? Because there's bullies and there's, right? You don't want to fight, right? Start no shit, but take no shit. Very simple, right? Okay, so watch what you type. We're going to get banned. I'm serious. Anyway, the idea being is that you want to be able to give these guys an out. Police officer, sheriff, any of these guys. FBI agent. Give them an out. Just make it easier. Make it easier. And here it is. Number 5. Number 5 say, make the steel more expensive than it's worth. You a porcupine, right? You don't want to be the honey badger. Porcupines are pretty docile, right? They'll put their quills up. I've run into porcupine before, believe it or not. I've had some encounters with some interesting wild animals. The scariest one was a cougar. Because is that guy food? He looks like food to me. I was like, I'm not food. Never run into a bear, never seen a bear. Seen a moose, and the moose ran away. Seen a porcupine, and the porcupine went, oh, and I went, oh, that's a porcupine. And he was like, yes, I am a porcupine. You want to come over here and mess with me? And he put his quills up. And I was like, no, I do not want to come over there and mess with you. Right? And it was just fun. Like, hey, look, a porcupine. A real one, not in a zoo or anything. That's a porcupine. Anyway, you want to be that porcupine. You don't want to start the fight. You don't want to be the honey badger. You don't want to be the one like gnawing on their fucking kneecaps, right? Or chewing on their legs and stuff like that. No. You don't want any of that. You want to, just leave me the fuck alone. Here's my documents. Oh, you're a man. Okay, we leave you alone. It's pretty much that simple. Even if the cop doesn't know it, when he calls it in, they're gonna be like, "Yeah, no, we don't want that guy coming into court. You're not gonna get anything out of him. The best thing you can probably do is go by the book, go back and give him his license, or give him the not license, but his documents, and tell him to have a nice day." And they do. But you got to do all the stuff I'm talking about first. Okay, now same thing. They come after you trying to get tax. Excuse me. I thought I corrected your record. Right, and they'll try to use. I've seen this a couple of times now. Try to use just two names, no middle initial, no anything, just that, right? Anyway, the point being is, if you do your paperwork in advance, now you don't worry about the debt collectors. You don't worry about the because you don't have debt because you're in the private. Your public side, that's a whole other animal. Again, authorized to represent it, but you're not it. You can represent it. Who is it? What is it? Where is it? When was it made? Who, what, where, why? Why is it? What it am I talking about? I'm talking about your in legis. I'm talking about the straw man. I'm talking about that all caps dead thing corporate person that they've turned you into. Well, they didn't turn you into it. They have a piece of paper that says. Okay, so you got to just rebut the presumption, correct the record. You're already a man. Nothing changes that. The name of the thing is not the thing named. Calling the dog's tail a leg does not make the dog's tail a leg. Simple as that. That was Abraham Lincoln, who, by the way, was apparently quite the lawsayer. And what did he say? He said, right, following the maxims of law, what did he say? He said, concede all points except the main point. Remember to keep the main thing the main thing. Those are quotes from Abe, whether you like him or not. Same thing, this other guy. What was his name? His name was Benjamin Franklin. Suggest you spend some time reading about that guy. Interesting individual, that. And I know a lot of people are like, oh, yeah, Mason, and yeah, baby's buried in his floorboards and blah, blah, blah. Yeah, and okay, maybe you did. I don't know one way or the other, but I do know that based on his writings, he was a learned man. And I know that all the others looked up to the old man, Benjamin Franklin. What was his job? What did he do? I think you'll be interested to find out. See, because now we got to go down this whole other road, the post road. I haven't even talked about that hardly. There's a little bit, talk about 3-cent stamps and so forth, but postal service, ooh, that's everything that runs. Universal postal system, everything that moves, all your documents, every package, everything. Got to learn something about that because you engage in it. You can't be ignorant free, folks. You just can't. You can't. So you got to know some stuff. You got to drink and know things, not just drink. Okay. Enough already. Going on 2 hours. Good God. All right. That I have my pile of stuff here. Oh, there was one more book on Hermes that I wanted to show you guys, but see, and I love it. I'll never ball him out ever. My son steals my books and reads them. Will I ever be like, you naughty boy? Never. The one thing that both of my sons figured out at an early age is we went to a book. We could go into other stores and they could ask for toys and stuff, and maybe they'd get it and maybe they wouldn't. We could go into other stores and they could ask, hardware or sporting goods and so forth. Maybe they get like bow and arrow, probably, right? Anyway, but because they introduce wrist rockets and so on. Yeah, sure. Okay, maybe they'd get it, maybe they wouldn't. But if we went into a bookstore, they never heard no. They may have heard, you might be able to get a better book than that. You really want to read Captain Underpants or whatever it was, right? I mean, maybe you can get a better book. But we're in a bookstore. Never, ever heard no. Never. They might have heard, I'm not going to buy it from this bookstore because this is overpriced and I can get it on Amazon or some other Barnes and Noble or whatever. But they never heard no. No, we're not getting that book. Never. Anyway. Let me see if I can find it one fast one because he has a place where he keeps his stuff. So should I put some intermission music on? go use the bathroom, etc. Well, okay. Oh, frick, it's hot again. I love it. I'll never complain about the heat, but it makes me sweat. And I notice on some of the things, like you can see the water coming out of my armpits. Anyway, this is what I was actually looking for. And this is The Way of Hermes. New translations of the Corpus Hermeticum and the definitions of Hermes Trimingentis to Asclepius. I don't know how to pronounce them. I'm gonna have to go put them in a thing and find out. But anyway, good book on. Huh? Okay, interesting. Just I'm gonna find this. This is one of the books he's reading, and I made him read this. There are some choice quotes out of here. He read it too. Gave me a book report. Actually, he cheated a little bit. The way he read it was he found the audiobook, because you can find this in the audiobook. And it took him a long time. He listened to it on 2 times speed, and it still took him a long time to get through it. And see, now he's getting to the age, now that Sweet 16 has come upon him, where he can write a 5-page paper, a 10-page paper. I don't want to just see a 1 or 2-page book report. I want 5 pages on this. I want 10 pages on this. I want a 20-pager. Well, not yet. We'll give him a couple 20-pagers on, and see, and it'll be on his choice. What do you want to write about? He said he might want to do a bigger paper on this, right? Why? Because it's happening right now. Not the first time this has happened. We're not the first country they've done this to. And because nobody read nothing, and nobody know how to stand up for their rights, and nobody would freaking read even the founding documents, and nobody would even read the Articles of Confederation, and nobody did he put it here? Did he put it here? Let's see. I believe it's there. Report, no, not that. No, not that. Some facts about law, no. Not what I'm looking for. Mason's manual, no. Manual Parliament, no. Constitution for the United States, that's good. Virginia, yes, he did, motherfucker. All right, Kurt, you're my man, right here. Go read the Virginia Declaration of Rights, June 12, 1776. Read that thing. It's the first. Well, what do you know? It's the first freaking document on the page, up in the upper left. Download that thing and read it, and get your highlighter out and circle some shit, and get your law dictionaries out and start reading. This is how they got us. They dumbed us down. No logic, no reasoning, none of the great rhetoric, none of that. They don't teach rhetoric. They don't teach logic and reasoning. They don't teach mathematics. They teach Jack Doodoo Caca. They teach you enough to get out of right here. Oh, here's my diploma. Here, I'll put the square on my head. That lets them know, right? What is that? The Masonic symbol. That's the Mason, right? You're going to help build this fucking society, you dumb slave. You're going to help perpetuate this bullshit. And look, we've given it to you in parts and parts and parts until finally you're at the point where look how fucked we are. Masts blown in the wind. While people drive around through the masts that are blown in the wind with masks on in the car by themselves. Maybe they got 2 masks on. Maybe they got 3 masks on. Maybe they've stuck their ass out the window to get it swabbed. They stopped that practice, but they were doing it for a little bit there. I have a friend, I hate to say it, but she is submitting to the test so she can fly. Bullshit, bullshit, bullshit. You want to, anybody here want to give me a dissertation or a link to how does a PCR test determine whether or not you have, I said, the Rona. How does it work? Oh, and when they dialed it down, did all of a sudden the cases start disappearing? We're not in April yet, but April going to be fun. Oh, and by the way, uh, where are we at here? Tomorrow is New Year's Eve, according to the sky clock. Okay. Um, Spring, right? Spring is about the sprung. The beginning of the year starts on the first day of spring, not in the dead of winter. I have Chinese friends that are like, "What the fuck with your calendar?" Seriously, they're just like, right? Because they're doing the moon and they start in right. Okay, but 21st is New Year's. Okay, to them, I don't get right. For us slaves, like they fucked our calendar, everything. They fucked your astrology. They that astrology stuff. That's the stuff with demons. You don't want to know about that. Give me my money. 501c. Okay, so anyway, New Year's Eve is coming up. This is the time to start thinking about, okay, because spring, this is the time to plant. This is the time. Okay, so plant your ideas. I'm going to be out of this year. I'm going to have a passport that reflects the fact that I'm a man this year. I'm going to figure out that, right? This year, those are the resolutions. I'm going to secure my own liberty, is what I'm going to do. Um, I'm going to learn this stuff. It's one bite at a time. You're not going to learn it all at once. The Nemos will help a lot. Um, but the whole thing, this whole, like you want to kick them in the butt. I'm telling you, you want to beat them. You want to, and it's not exactly how it works, winners and losers and so forth, beating and so on. But I mean, if you want to make it so that they leave you the fuck alone and they know that they shouldn't mix with you, maybe you should read every book that's on this page at the very minimum. What do we got here? 3, 6, 9, 10 books. That too much for you? And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 more links to dictionaries and stuff. This will armor you up right here, guarantee it. And how are you armoring yourself up? Knowledge. Educate yourself, and then you can start educating others. But legal maxims, right there. It's on the same line as the Law of Nations, which you should read. Some facts about the law, which is a good little treatsy, and it's not super long. And then legal maxims, which is like out of everything on this page, that'll probably take you the longest. But it'll make everything on the page start making sense. Because guess what? The Virginia Declaration of Rights, yeah, it reflects those legal maxims. Because that's the common law. Oof. I got to take care of that. I have something I'm spoiling it on purpose, but God. Okay, so burn some incense and clean that stuff up. But yeah, there's certain things that you can't get without fermentation. Let's see here. But I don't talk about that because you fuck up your fermentation, you can kill yourself, literally. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, that is correct. He was the first postmaster. Bing! You should win some kind of prize. You should win an award. But yes, huge. Huge. He was the first postmaster. So postal system, maybe you should know something about the postal system. Just saying. Right? But that's down the road. For now, who are you? Where are you? What are you? When did you come into being? How are you? How are you? Who? What? Where? When? Why? How? Especially like when it comes to your estate. Again, who's administering my estate for me? Who thinks they can administer my estate for me? Why do you think you can administer my estate? When did you start administering my estate? How are you administering my estate again? How is it that you think you have a superior claim to mine? If I don't have the superior claim, who does? I affirm and declare that I have the superior claim over my estate and over my person and over my name. Because you got multiple names. I got at least 4 names they know me by. I'm Gandalf. They call me many names. Tolkien knew what he was talking about. He gave you the parables. He gave you the thing. Same way he did it with fantasy. Because he understood this book. I guarantee you he understood this book. Right? And he made up his own signs and symbols and languages and all kind of stuff. That guy I loved that guy. And if you talk about it, right, they kind of denigrated him because he talks about how not one man in a million is fit to lead or rule. And those that think they are usually the worst ones. Right? He had seen the horror of war because you guys refused to learn how to work one of these. Because it's so much easier to work one of these. Anyhow, he told you the stories. He told you the stories and parables. Tolkien, I'm talking about, not just him, not just this guy. Anyway, the idea being that once you start learning this stuff, you're going to start seeing, oh. So maxims, and it's going to take the longest because they look like simple sentences, but they're big, right? My favorite, my girlfriend had an aunt, I believe. I would have wrote you a shorter letter, but I didn't have the time. That's excellent. And that refers to see, educated people. 2 generations back, they were educated people. Right? We don't even know. We don't even remember. But they have worked hard, and it has been effective at dumbing us down, dumbing us down, dumbing us down. So all you got to do is to reverse that. Learn how to read, learn what the words mean, learn the etymology. You might want to start with letters, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, right? And put the number with the letter, and then you need to know some numerology and some gematria, just a little bit to know that it exists. I mean, or maybe it really interests you and you want to full on fall down that rabbit hole. But number and letter and symbol, yeah, they rule. Symbol rules the words. What is it? Anyway, symbol rules the world, and they know it. And by their signs and symbol, you will know them. Okay. And I do these for me too, because now I can go back and look at some of those, the Nemos and so forth that I read, and I can just listen to myself tell them to me, and it's easier because I hear it, right? Like I said, there are but 3 ways to learn, right? Visual, auditory, kinesthetic. And you can learn a little bit with sense of smell, but I mean, overall, the primary learning sources for this kind of information. And speaking of sense of smell, rosemary, sniff some rosemary before you go to bed. Get a fresh sprig of rosemary. You can get fresh herbs at the store all the time. Get that nice, piney, strong rosemary. Why am I telling you this? Anyway, audio, visual, kinesthetic. So the audio and visual, read and hear at the same time. Speak even better, right? Sometimes it's good to read stuff out loud. And then you get it in there even more. So I'm doing all 3. I'm listening. It's my own voice because I spoke it, and I'm reading along at the same time. And now it's easy to recall. See, but you got to get some repetition going so that you get familiar. And see, there are repetitions in that thing. I haven't even made it all the way through 356 pages one time yet. I've read quite a few of them, but and I've skimmed the whole thing. I did the photo reading wild thing. I'm getting ready to do the photo reading wild thing on it. But the idea being, go look up photo reading too. Just look up photo reading and understand. That'll help you get through a lot of this stuff. Because that's the other thing. They've made it so that our taking in of information has been hobbled and crippled, and it takes us a really long time to read things that shouldn't take that long to read. And then I figure out that a lot of these guys, speed reading and stuff like that, they can read forwards and backwards. They've dumbed us down so far, we don't even know how far we're dumbed down. Anyway, and then they've made it seem like, oh, well, you want to go enjoy life. You want to go, if you're a man with a womb, you don't want to serve your family. You don't want to cook and clean. That's crazy talk. You want to come work for me to make me money. And I'm going to pay you a little bit. I'm going to pay you as little as I can get away with. Secretary, file clerk, school teacher, but now you can do anything you want. Now you can have your own business. Now you can work for any corporation. Now you can be in marketing and sales. You can be in radio. You can do anything. But you wouldn't want to stay home and be a homemaker. That's crazy talk. And I was just, I'll put this in here because I got this with Jessica. Because she's one of them women that self-care and taking care of herself feels selfish because she's one of those women that takes care of everybody else. And plus anyway, I'll go down that road. I'll get myself in trouble immediately. Anyway, even if you got a good man, ladies, and I don't know how many women are here, that's not our job. So caring for you is not our job. Our job is to get the bathtub for you, get the roof over your head, make sure that water is hot when you turn the tap because the bills are paid. That's our job. Your job is to take care of yourself so you can take care of us and others. And if you get sick and you let your battery charge down to where you can't function, now you fucked up because you can't take care of the babies and you can't take care of the husband. You can't take care of the house. You can't take care of others because you got to take care of yourself first. And it's not selfish. You're doing that so you can take care of others. And see, men, we got to be a little bit better with that because, that's not how we operate, though, right? I mean, maybe you draw them a bath on special occasions or something like that, or maybe you're right, but you should be helping them self-care. But see, the way we think, and there is a difference between the men think and the women think, is that we gave you the bathtub. We gave you the ability to buy whatever perfumes and salts and stuff to put in the bathtub. Your Calgon take you away. Don't use Calgon. But I mean, you know what I mean? To put in this thing, Epsom salts or whatever. We're supposed to provide all of that for you so you can take care of yourself. That's the way most men think about it. What they did do is get you to go, I should do it for myself. I'll go and get my own job. I'll go put my children in childcare and have some idiot socialist fuck with their brains so that by the time they get back from college, I don't even recognize my own child. That's not happening with me. But I've seen it happen to many, many, many of my friends. And when they lament on this generation, who the fuck raised them? Oh, yeah, it was us. So, are they going to put your child in the care of socialists in their formative years? Socialists, snakes, vipers, thieves, deceivers, worshippers of the Satan, baby rapers, salesmen for the clubs. Hey, join our sorority. Hey, come rush our frat. Here's some alcohol. And then you get in deep enough and you realize, whoa, wait a second here, but you're already in. You already made the oaths. You already more right. And they take those oaths. They take that seriously because if you haven't got word, you've got nothing. And then you chicken shit for to rescind or revoke those oaths or those signatures. If it was done by deceit, fraud vitiates everything. But see, the problem with some of the others, they weren't deceived. They knew what they were getting into. They signed the documents anyway. They don't like you. And those signatures are proof of same. Those memberships in certain clubs are proof of same. They don't like you. Not only do they not like you, every time you hear me say I'm censoring myself. They don't like you. They hate you. They want all your stuff because they don't think you deserve to even have your stuff. Savage slave, idiot, little monster. So taking your stuff from you when you're ignorant, like taking candy from a baby, they have no issue with that. They consider you an infant. Yeah, even at 50 years, 60 years, still infantile. They treat you like an infant. They talk to you like an infant. They lie to you like an infant. They consider you an infant slave baby of unknown origin that needs their help to make the way in the world. Because you're so fucking ignorant, you'll probably wind up giving your soul to the devil, so we'll claim it first. And you don't know what to do with that body, so give it to us. And then look, we'll write bonds on it, and we'll do all this other stuff. And you're none the wiser. And then when somebody comes along and tells you that this has happened, oh, that's conspiracy theory. You know how I know it's conspiracy theory? Because I heard it on TV, and my masters told me to tell you that that was conspiracy theory, because I've been to school. So I know. Right? I went to a really expensive school. Harvard, Yale. Right? Oh, look. Wait. And the Yale guys will tell you. And then they'll put the thing on your head, and you're more likely to go get the jab if you've had 4 or 5 years of college, 6 years master's degree, PhDs. Much more likely to go get the jab because they got complete control of your mind in that last 18 to 24, 18 to 26, those last few years. Because unbeknownst to you, your mind didn't finish developing until you turned about 29, 30. At least 27 if you were fast, 30 if you were slower, 33 if you were really slow. But you're thinking that you're all done growed up by 18. You still got another 9 years of seasoning in this thing. Prove me wrong. We take a long time to develop. Okay, so now we're already 30, and then we're only going to live another, right? They must have fucked with something. Because there any other creature on this planet that takes 30 years to fully fill out. Well, I don't know. Maybe there is. If there is one, I don't know of it. I'm ignorant of the fact. Probably there is. But when it comes to us, it's about 30, 27, 30. Not 25, not 18, for damn sure, not 13, not 16. And then you got another numbers, right, in which I wrote down there. Did I put them over here? What did I do with them? I think I put them over there. Nope, I didn't put them over there. I'll put them oh, look, that led in quite nicely. Except for the fact that I can't find the documents now. I had it out. Oh, here you go. Think of threes. 3 12s, 3 7s, 3 8s. Right? 7 7 on the slot machine. Ching, ching, ching. 7 7 7. You got lucky. 8 8 8 though. Right? That's 24. 12 12 12. That's 36. 7 7 7. That's 29. I didn't put the 9s. 9 9 9. That's 27. And that correlates very nicely with the development of his brain and the waves you can make. Oh, did I talk about making? I think I did this in another video already. But gamma. Learn how to make gamma. If you can learn how to make gamma, you could have a fun time in the near future. All right, because it's the gamma that you need. I'm done. I think I am, in fact, finished here. Okay, we'll come back tomorrow, and we'll read yet more out of the Book of Maxims, and I'll have some other fun stuff to talk about. But as you can see, if you go back and watch this thing at 2 times speed, I'm not joking around. I'm not this is not conjecture. This is every freaking thing on this document is supposed to be there. Right? I found my bonds. You can't call me a conspiracy. I found my fucking bonds. I figured out that, yeah, they write bonds. Without our consent or knowledge. Like I said, they got making it look like they're doing stuff. That's the second one in 2 hours and 20. It is about. I'm gonna say there's not 4 hours that goes by that a ambulance, fire truck, or police car doesn't go by on this road. And that wasn't the case until such time as the Rona used to be. It's Makawao. If you go look at a map, you can find Maui, find Makawao, right? You blink and you miss this town, right? You're driving, and you can't drive fast, so you know. There's ones where on the interstate, right, where you're driving 70 miles an hour, right, and you pass the town, you miss the exit, and you're already past it. But anyway, Makawao is not that big of a place. What the fuck? Right? I mean, we don't have that much. We just don't have this much action. And yes, that's the road that goes from here to there and so forth, because Makawao Avenue is the main thoroughfare. But I've lived in this place for over 10 years, and I never heard this many sirens. I mean, never. I mean, there used to be like days would go by and you didn't hear a siren. Not no more. What a coincidence. Trying to think if there's any other stuff I want to do here. I think I'm not going to. I think I'm going to go. What I'm going to do is play on Duolingo for a little bit, study some Latin on Duolingo, and study some Latin elsewhere. And I love studying the Latin here in the collection of maxims. I suggest you don't have to get as crazy as I do, but you might want to get to the point where you are learned enough that you know some maxims, you've got your paperwork in order, you understand what to write, you understand that it doesn't have to be super long documents that are 50 pages long. You understand about addendums, you understand about the jurisdiction. Do I want to cover a little more of that before we quit? Would you like to hear a little bit more of these cases when it comes to jurisdiction? Because, US v. General Motors, in common usage, the word person does not include the sovereign. The statutes employing the word are generally construed to exclude the sovereign. Who is the sovereign? Are you the sovereign? Can you become the sovereign? Church of Scientology versus US Department of Justice. The word person in legal terminology is perceived as a general word which normally includes the scope of a variety of entities other than human beings. Stare decisis. Here's the res judicata that tells you about the word person. See now, because if they're claiming to have jurisdiction over persons, then you might need to show that men can be persons, but not all persons are men, and they need to become much more precise in their diction when it comes to claiming jurisdiction over you. Their diction. Do you see what I did there? Yeah. Anyway, so their idea being is that they need to be pretty precise. Are they talking about the man? Make them prove it. Make them say, yeah, we're summoning the living man. And oh, no, they're not, because they can't. Let's see here. The term resident and citizen of the United States is distinguished from a citizen of one of the several states in that the former is a special class of citizen created by Congress. We have in our political system a government of the United States and a government of each of the several states. Each one of these governments is distinct from the others, and each has a citizen of its own. United States v. Krukashenk. I can't pronounce it. See, I've never heard the word. I've only seen it on paper. Therefore, I don't know how it sounds. Let's see here. Oh, here's a good one. Jones v. Temer. The Privileges and Immunities Clause of the 14th Amendment. Have you read the Privileges and Immunities Clause? Do you know what they're talking about? Which 14th Amendment? The United States Corporation or the other one? The one in 1871 or the 1776 one? Don't know. But all right. The Privileges and Immunities of Clause of... We'll start over again. The Privileges and Immunities Clause of the 14th Amendment protects very few rights because it neither incorporates the Bill of Rights nor protects all rights from individual citizens. Nor protects all rights of individual citizens. Instead, this provision protects only the rights peculiar to being a citizen of the federal government. It does not protect those rights which relate to state citizenship. Right there, it should become clear to you that there's a difference between a federal citizen and a state citizen. They are not same. You just thought they were same. You thought citizen meant everything. There are kinds of citizens, just like there are kinds of dogs. There are kinds of horses. There are kinds of people. Supreme Court v. Valentine. Supreme Court U.S. v. Valentine. The only absolute and unqualified right of a United States citizen is to residence within the territorial boundaries of the United States. Really? That's the only absolute right? Absolute and unqualified? Okay, let's get back to proof of jurisdiction. Men are endowed by their creator with certain unalienable rights: life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. And to secure, not grant or create these rights, governments are instituted. I'm going to repeat that because it sounds vaguely important. And I'm not going to do the whole thing. And to secure, not grant or create these rights, governments are instituted. That property, or in brackets, income, which a man has honestly acquired, he retains full control of. You might want to do that when you're fucking with the IRS. If you put it in, right? Don't put it in your document, put it as an attachment. Notice! And that's Bud v. People of the State of New York. Let's see here. Shapiro v. Thompson. And see, this is the other thing. Some cases are more famous than others. They're kind of like rock stars, right? So, Weeks, Hale versus Hinkle, certain other ones are more, the judge will know. Because in law, they got to study these cases. Some of them. Mostly, and that's the other thing. Most of them study maxims and the contract law. They can't study the statutes because there's thousands of statutes in every state. There's thousands of federal statutes. There are so many statutes and codes, you just get lost in all of them. If you go to somebody's law library, you'll notice there's guys that all they do is family law. Other ones, all they do is corporate law. All they do wills and trusts. Right? Business law, contract law, commercial contract law, international contract law, shipping law. Right? There's a lot of code and regulations, but if you understand some stuff about trusts, understand some contract law for dummies, understand the basis of contracts, and then get these maxims down and read the stuff that's there in that library right there, and you can begin kicking them in the patootie too. Let's see here. Shapiro v. Thompson. Further, the right to travel by private conveyance for private purposes upon the common way cannot be infringed. No license or permission is required for travel. Does that say no license or permission is required for travel? Oh, yeah, that's what that says right there. No license or permission is required for travel when the travel is not, let's make this clear, for the purpose of commercial profit or gain. So you're driving a taxi? Now you're using the road for profit, taking people from one place to another. Yeah, you might need a driver's license for that. You taking your kids to school? You going to get groceries? You going to the beach? You going to the mountains for hiking? For recreation anywhere? You going to a concert? You going to the mall? So, when such travel is not for the purpose of profit or gain on the open highways, operating under license in commerce. So let's read the whole thing all at once. Further, the right to travel by private conveyance. Doesn't say commercial conveyance. What's a private conveyance? Oh, my car. They've turned your private conveyance into a motor vehicle. Further, the right to travel by private conveyance for private purpose upon the common way cannot be infringed. Period. No license or permission is required for travel when such travel is not for the purpose of profit or gain on the open highways under license in commerce. Go look it up. That one exists. Shapiro v. Thompson, 394 U.S. 618, April 21st, 1969. Shapiro v. Thompson, 394 U.S. 618. Look it up. Because that's what I mean. I've read some other ones, and you go look at it, it's not there. Fact check your own self. The claim and exercise of a constitutional right cannot be converted into a crime. I think I've said that. Oh, look, here's where it is. Miller v. U.S. 230 F 486 at 489. Does that reflect one of the maxims that we just were looking over? Why, yes. Yes, it do. See? All of this will become clearer and clearer. It won't be so confusing because when you first get into this, all these all these court cases, the law is so no, it's not. No, it's not. There can be no sanction or penalty imposed upon one because of his exercise of a constitutional right. If you're exercising a right, you can do no damage. Don't it say that in the maxims? See, you start seeing why these maxims apply and how the judges have to rule. No state shall convert a liberty into a privilege, license it, and attach a fee to it. Shuttlesworth v. Birmingham. Oh, wait a minute. Oh, no, wait. Sorry. Wrong site. It was Murdoch v. Penn. Is no state shall convert liberty into a privilege, license it, and attach a fee to it. Right? Because they can't convert rights into, they can't fee, or anyway, we've been over this. Shuttlesworth v. Birmingham says if the state converts a liberty into a privilege, the citizen can engage in the right with impunity. Right? If the state converts a liberty into a privilege, the citizen can engage in the right with impunity. Like it. Ooh, Miranda. Now that's the case. See, there's one you should know. That's a kind of a famous one. There's a rock star case. Maybe you need Miranda v. Arizona. Where the rights secured by the Constitution are involved, there can be no rulemaking or legislation which would abrogate them. Why is that? Where rights secured by the Constitution are involved, they didn't give you rights, they're secured them. Here's case after case that says anybody that tells you different is a fucking liar. And they're supposed to lie to you. They serve the Satan. What? The Satan is their master. They're deceivers. But if you've read the law, you know they're deceiving you. Where rights secured by the Constitution are involved, there can be no rulemaking or legislation which would abrogate them. Because why? Because that's and see, there's another one. How come? Maybe you should learn that. But what maxims apply to this? Can they abrogate your rights? Right? Because basically what that says, the Constitution didn't give you anything. What it is securing rights, securing the common law, securing those legal maxims in codification. Okay, proof of jurisdiction. Let's get back to that. How about Black's Law Dictionary, 5th edition? Oh, look, we're just going to look it up. The color of law, the appearance or semblance without the substance of legal right. Misuse of power possessed by virtue of the state law and made possible only because the wrongdoer is clothed with authority of state is action taken under color of state law. Atkins v. Lanning. Conspiracy against rights. That's Title 18. We've gone over these. Let's give it. Let's see here. More proof of jurisdiction. Proof of jurisdiction. Wait. There you go. Party cannot be bound by contract that he has not made. Right? I got no contract with you. This is Alexander v. Bosworth, 1915. Party cannot be bound by contract that he has not made or authorized. Free consent is an indispensable element in the making of valid contracts. You'd know that if you'd studied contract law. You can't enter into a contract under duress. You can't be forced into a contract. That's not a contract. That's not a valid contract. Right? Why? Because coercion and fear are the opposite of consent. It says so in these maxims. Party cannot be bound by contract that is not made or authorized. I never made a contract with you. I never authorized it. And if I did, it was fraudulent, ab initio, from the beginning. I never signed that birth certificate. Mommy did. I did sign this, though. I did sign my voter registration. I did sign my letters. I did sign for my passport. All right, but I'm fucking revoking those signatures, rescinding them, revoke and rescind. I'm also revoking your power of attorney, motherfuckers. You may not offer my estate for me anymore. I didn't know you were doing it in the past. I was ignorant of the fact, but I have become cognizant of the fact, and now I'm writing you this letter, making these declarations, making these claims, and letting you know and putting you on notice. See, this would be a notice that, hey, I have no contract, so produce the contract. Because otherwise, here's some stare decisis, excuse me, here's some res judicata that says that I cannot be bound by a contract that I didn't make or authorize. Seems kind of common sense to me. Let's see here. Butts, Butz versus Economomou or whatever that is. Economou. Economo. Okay. Let's see here. No man or woman. Oh, look, that sounds like a Nemo. No man or woman in this country is so high that he is above the law. Oh, what's the corollary there? What's it say there in the collection of maxims? No one is beyond the law. They didn't say above. They said beyond. Right? So high that he is above the law. No officer of the law may be set. Wait a minute. No officer of the law may set that law as defiance with impunity. All officers of the government, from the highest to the lowest, are creatures of the law and are bound to obey it. Because they wouldn't have their office if it wasn't for the law, and they have to support the Constitution before they can get their office. They got to swear an oath or affirm an oath that supports the Constitution. Go look at Article 6, the third clause. They're going to be an officer. They got to have an oath. Period. They're going to get any kind of privileges or pay or anything for that office. They got to take the oath to support the Constitution. Uphold, support, honor, and obey, whatever words they use in your state. Go look up your state oaths. Everybody got one. Accept their oaths and then hold them to it. They ain't giving you nothing. You ain't giving them nothing. Do I want to read this one? I don't want to read this one. Plus, it's long. But basically, it's just more nobody above the law. And all the maxim you need, you don't need all these words. What do you need? Here's what you need. Wait, I'll make sure you got it. Oh crap, there's gonna be. How am I gonna find that easily? See, and that's you know what if I knew the freaking number, that'd be super easy to find, wouldn't it? Let's see. I'm gonna type beyond law, and I bet you it takes me right to it. Oh, nope. Because I spelled it wrong. Okay. Typo. Okay, so here it is. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 words. No one is beyond the law. 1480, by the way, for future reference. 1480. No one is beyond the law. Do you need to read all this stuff? Do you need to have all these court cases? Or can you just put that Nemo in there and say, excuse me? Or you could read this whole thing about no one's above the law. Nobody. Oh, look, it's right. Okay. But all those cases that I'm reading, no one's beyond the law. Like here's, we have no offices in this government, from the president down to the most subordinate agent, who does not hold office under the law with prescribed duties and limited authority. Right? Police officers don't have ultimate authority to do whatever the fuck they want. They have very prescribed offices. They have very prescribed, right? Hi, I'm a detective. Hi, I'm a traffic cop. Hi, I'm a, right? And they can hold different, depending on what their duty is that day. Right? Governors are not allowed to write law. Legislatures do that. You can sign it into law and you can agree with it or rebut it, but you can't write the law yourself and then sign it. You cannot write a bill of attainder. You can't say, learn what bill, it says it right there. What's a bill of attainder? We let them get away with that forever and ever. Did I say I was quitting? I said I was quitting. All right. And I should figure out how to get you this document because it's great. It's this guy. Go all the way to the end and figure it out. Do I say his name? This guy from Texas that was writing this document to the courts, and he had a great time. I would have been way shorter than this, and all of this stuff would have been in the attachments. And I like it. He quotes the devil to him, or he quotes John 8:44 to him. He quotes Revelations 21:8 to him. He quotes Revelations 2:9. Anyway, he's not fucking around. He was pissed. I'll see if I can find this letter for you guys. Uh-oh. I just do. I lost it. I don't know how I'm going to load it up, though, because I'm running out of space on my thing. I think that's enough for today. We'll come back to it tomorrow. Tune in for another edition of 100th Monkey Dicking Around with Law here on YouTube. But do you see the maxims? Learn the maxims, right? And see, from the maxims, keep the main thing the main thing. What's the main thing? Is the main thing all these freaking Supreme Court cases and all court cases out of France? And I have people here, a couple of people have written me. You have the same in your country. You may not call it the Secretary of State, but you have somebody that does the job of the Secretary of State. You may not call him the Attorney General, but you have somebody that does the Attorney General, like maybe a minister or whatever it is. You got people to write to. I don't know who they are. I wouldn't know. I don't live in France. I don't live in Britain. I live in Maui, and I live on Maui, the island of Maui. I don't live in Maui, in United States. United States Corporation claims this thing. I thought I was in the Jersey Republic. Okay. Canada turns out to be part of our nation, but you have different ministers and different people that do the same jobs. Mexico, same thing. I don't know what they're called, but you got a Secretary of State or somebody that does the Secretary of the State, somebody that's responsible for your passport, somebody that's responsible for those. I don't know who it is. I don't know the name of the office. You figure that out, and then you write them letters. But anyway, tomorrow we'll come back at it. I'll have done more reading. I'll have listened to more Manly P. Hall. I'm so sad because the ones I want to listen to are so fucking hard to listen to because the recordings are so bad. But I will suffer through it. Oh God, I'll just more tea, more popcorn. I got pie. I never have pie in this house, but it was great. Again, everything I did was illegal. It was all supposedly illegal, right? Letting kids have a party is illegal in Hawaii right now, in the United States. These fuckers, and that's all they are, is fuckers, have decided they can tell you where you can gather, how many can gather, for what purpose, when. I'm sorry, no, you can't. Freedom of assembly. Just go look at the first one. You guys couldn't even stand up for the first one. And how's this, our buddy Bumbles? Bumbles biting. Telling the press they can't go down to the border. Excuse me, can the president tell freedom of the press shall not be what? They get away with anything you let them get away with. Obviously. So step one, put the armor on. Step one, get on your square. If you're off your square, get back on it and ask for some forgiveness, and then get back on your square. And then once you get your square on, armor it up with documents because you learn how to work this thing. Give them to season up, and in 90 days, build your freaking fortress. You know, can come through here. I'm a living man, right? I know who you are. Or maybe I don't know who you are. Who the fuck are you? You might ask some of these guys, who are you and what's your authority? Can you cite your authority to tell me to put a mask on? Where you think you get that? Oh, from these emergency powers. Oh, really? So those emergency powers, do they abrogate or abjure the Constitution? Can you make emergency orders that violate common law and these maxims? Because it's emergency? Or does the common law reigns superior, is the supreme law of the land, the Constitution, because the Constitution secures. And see, if it's not in the Constitution, and again in the maxims, they couldn't cover everything. So what they do, 9th and 10th, hey, if it's not here, it's the people, the states, or the people, because they couldn't think of everything, and they couldn't list all of our rights because they're so manifold that you couldn't list them all. So everything else not covered here, and that's not the way it works. It's not if it's not here. If it doesn't say we can't do it, then we can do it. No, if it doesn't say you can't do it, then you can't do it. It doesn't have to. But if it doesn't say you can do it, for sure you can't do it, right? If it says if it doesn't say you can, look at those words. Because what they're trying to say and what they've been using as their plausible deniability, well, it doesn't say we couldn't do this, but it doesn't say you can, so you can't. Is that in your oath of office? Is that in your description of duties? Oh, if it's not there, it's not there. And that's an actual, I'm pretty sure that's in the Nemos, or not in the Nemos, but in the Maxims. Let's see if I can find that one fast one. Not there. All right. So those the two words together, not there, do not appear, because I just typed it in and it's not there. But anyway, but if it's not there, it's not there. So them claiming that well, it doesn't say I can't means I can. That's no. No. All right. Whoa, suddenly you guys are in the town over here. No, actually not, because there's only a couple comments after the first postmaster. I don't know. Playing golf, probably. Where's Trump? Or maybe he's doing Melania. That's what I'd be doing. I'd be doing Melania and playing golf and waiting for things to season up and get ready to go. Anyway, let's see here. Yeah, one of those. Who? Yeah, there you go. You enjoying your school? I enjoy school too. I didn't used to enjoy school, but I'm enjoying this school. And I would have showed up if I would have had a class like this in high school. I would have fucking been there every damn day. And we could have wrote documents and we go, no, that's not what we did. We didn't do any of that stuff. We didn't study any of that stuff. We studied the Constitution, though. I will give them that. They at least gave me the Constitution to study as part of American history. But did they give us the Articles of Confederation? Nope. Did they give us the Virginia Declaration of Rights? Read that thing. It'll blow your mind. Did they give us any of these books? Mason's Manual of Legislative Procedure? Nope. How about the Treatise on False Arrest and Imprisonment? Nope. How about Law of Nations? Nope. How about this Legal Maxims? Nope. Didn't even mention it. Didn't put it on the reading list. Okay. Pow. Pow. Tomorrow we come back and we do more. Read. That's it. Read or listen and read. And soon I'm going to turn into a bear, because I have, let's see, not an actual bear. I'm not going to actually turn into a bear. But if that was in the Bible, Jesus turned into a bear. And then he fed the masses with 3 loaves and 2 fish. And then he walked on the water. That guy is a hell of a guy, that guy. And then he was turning water into wine. Look at all the stuff he did. Anyway. But once I get the freaking photo reading thing done, which is coming at the end of this month, I'm going to be a bear, right? Because I'm going to photo read. Oh man, their photo reading challenge, they won't, I won't have a problem keeping up, because I got piles of books. And then see, I'll photo read them. Find out about photo reading. I'm not even going to do it here. Just go just type in photo reading to the YouTube and just see some of the things about photo reading. It's pretty cool, and he has seminars, and you could go. All you gotta do is install Zoom. I wanted to go in person, like I said, but not this time. But we'll go in person eventually. And I'm sure he has great students, but I always want to take it from the guy that invented it, from the master. Now, occasionally, the master will acknowledge a student has surpassed him. I don't think he has though. So I want to learn from that guy, right? And then I'm going to go through. Then I'm going to go through code sections and law and other things like that, and start putting it in there and become the encyclopedia. Because I have a friend. Just comes for a D&D, just Dungeons and Dragons, silly game that we used to play in high school and so forth. Not really that silly, but I mean, yeah, it was just fantasy and imagination, and it was fun. It was an excuse to get together and drink beer and eat food and hang out with your friends. And oh, we're playing D&D. That's what we're doing, right? Anyway, and that way the women would leave us alone because they don't want to play D&D with us. Most girls don't like D&D. In fact, girls that do. Anyway, we'll skip the nerd thing. But the point being is I have a friend, pretty much the Dungeon Master's manual. Yeah, he had the whole fucking thing memorized. You wanted to know a rule, or he'd be like the referee when we were playing, and we needed a determination. Oftentimes he might have to thumb through the book, but most of the time, just from the top of his head, he could tell you the rules for a stupid game. But if I asked him about what's in this, or if I asked him about what's in this, or if I asked him about what's in this rule book, no clue. See what I mean? It's where you'd want to spend your time. I can tell you all, I've read the Silmarillion, I've read the Lord of the Rings multiple times, I watched the movies, I read The Hobbit. I read The Hobbit to my girlfriend. I read The Hobbit to my boys. I read The Hobbit. One time I had a girlfriend that broke her leg, and so I brought The Hobbit over, and that was my excuse. I read to her every day. Right? Everybody thought it was sweet. But anyway, we had ulterior motives. Anyway, point being is I knew all about Tolkien and his world and the runes and all the symbol, and right. And then now that I'm doing it, I realized, oh my God, that was an allegory for all of this. But anyway, the point being is I knew way too much about Frodo and Gandalf and, and the wizards there and all that whole the Fëanor and making the jewels and all that Numenor and so on. I knew way too much about that. And not enough about this. And that's not coming from the Jesus is my savior. No, that's coming from the fact that this is a book of law. And I didn't know it was a book of law. It's also a book of medicine. It's also a book. I mean, there's at least 4 ciphers here. I've heard as many as 10. But you can read each one of these passages, see, because that was knowledge. That was when you were really learned, is when you could use these words and have multiple meanings. So yeah, it could be, the guy turned into a bear. But probably that had some symbolism to go along with it. See where I'm going with that? Yeah. Anyway, so the idea being is you got to educate self. Don't try to cast pearl before swine. Just don't. They want to know, let them know. It was nice. I had one little boy. He's now 18, and he actually took me out aside at this party and was like, I've got this and this and this happening, and he's got a lot of stuff on his plate right now. They're moving to Bonner's Ferry, God's country. If you've ever been to Bonner's Ferry, that's God's country. It's beautiful up there. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. And down to earth, good fucking people. Just, they racist as fuck. Not all of them, right? But some of them are so racist, they don't even know they're racist. But I mean, which is actually good because they don't try to hide it or anything. They're not like Nazis. I mean, they're just good people. But, foreigners that don't look like them, and they got grandparents that used to shoot at the Indians and them still shooting at each other 1 generation, 2 generations back, right? If they're my age. So yeah, they got some issues, but at the same, literally shooting at each other. But the point being is that this kid came by and said, I want to learn this and I need to learn that. And he's working on, as we speak, he's working on Law of Nations. And he goes, when I get done with that, I want you to direct me to some other stuff. I was like, all right. 18-year-old kid. By the time he's 25, he won't need me. He won't need anybody. Right? He's already on his own path, looking at this, going, oh. And then his parents are kind of semi-open to it too, especially the mom, as it turns out. Right? Educate self, educate others, one at a time. This happens one at a time. Starts with you, that one, and then once they figure out that, and so you got to lead by example. I got to get my paperwork in order. I got to get that passport. By now, people are saying, "Why don't you have it by now?" Some of the others that have already got theirs. Well, because I'm meticulous and slow and chicken shit. But at least I'm taking the right because I want to make sure because I know that they'll try to trip me up. But now by now I'm pretty much just procrastinating because I understand how to I get it. So now it's just a matter of doing it and seasoning those documents and doing what I'm telling myself to do while I make these videos. You do same, and then you can help out other people. And then hopefully teach them well enough and make them understand or educate them well enough that first step one, nobody's doing this for you and they don't love you. They don't want you doing this. But the first thing you might do, maxims. Why? And see, now I know why. It's a bear. It's 356 pages, but now I know why I want to read it. So I have some motivation because I do want to be able to be like in Shakespeare, where the docent comes in and oh damn it, Merchant of Venice, right? She knew the law. Well, they didn't think it was a she. They thought I was a young man. But he was the studier of the law. And they all freaking right, bowed to him because he was the knower of the law. And he had a reputation for being a knower of the law and to be able to adjudicate and adjust and be just. And right, his diction, his jurisdiction was impeccable, supposedly. So I want, and how? Because maxims. And what was it? Law books. He had studied them, he had read them. And it turned out it was anyway, if you haven't read, go watch The Merchants of Venice or read it or something. Anyway, see, what was that? That was them. Oh, geez. I don't want to go down that road, but the whole thing giving us language and giving us, right, the Shakespeares, shaking their spears at us. Okay, crime stoppers. Educate yourself, educate others. E pluribus unum. Right? That's the one thing they fear is us uniting with knowledge against them. And it is us or them. They would have got rid of us. They were planning to get rid of us. No, they are still planning to get rid of us. And they are executing the plan right in front of your very eyes. How are you going to push back if you ignorant and broke? This ain't no movie. This is a simulation, but it ain't no movie. See you tomorrow.